Are you protesting? It's Conference USA football. Welcome to the Alamo Dome. Sure, it was the 7th longest game in history, but UTSA Roadrunner fans, they've got their second win. North Texas won one game last year, but it came against UTSA. So both programs have new coaches, a new attitude, and both are on the rise. It's North Texas against UTSA, and welcome to the SWBC pregame show. Good evening, everybody. I'm Don Harris along with Chuck Mikatinik. And Chuck, we were here for that marathon a week ago. A lot of fun, but UTSA on the short end of that game, will it have any lingering effects?
Don, I really doubt it, but you never know. We're going to find out. I mean, Coach Wilson and his staff generally do a great job of, getting kids to turn the page after a great win, and then conversely, after a tough loss. UTSA's biggest win of the season came against Southern Miss, and that was after a 2-game losing streak, so we're about to find out either way.
Dalton Sturm leads the Roadrunners at quarterback. He has started off red hot, but he's kind of cooled off. Is that a concern?
Well, if you look at his splits, you're right. When he starts a football game, generally speaking, he's got the hot hand, and then the numbers do kind of tail off in the second half, but hey, this could be just the law of averages kind of thing. I mean, it's hard to complete that many passes or be that hot through an entire football game. I think UTSA's got to make a concerted effort, though, to, especially in the back end of the game, block better, make sure they're catching his passes, too. I think it's a combination of both factoring in on his numbers in the second half.
As for the Mean Green, they are led by their running back, Jeffrey Wilson, the real deal, 12 touchdowns, third in all of college football.
Not your quintessential running back build. He's 6 feet, 190 pounds. Last year only had 2 touchdowns. He's really sprung on the scene this year, though. 12 TDs, as you said, on the year, and this is a team that scored 26 touchdowns all year. So you want to stop these guys, you better keep your eye on number 26 all night, because he's going to get a lot of touches this evening.
So how do the Roadrunners stop Jeffrey Wilson? Well, we'll go down to the sidelines and Hector Ledesma for more on that. Hector?
160 yards on just 15 carries and 3 touchdowns for Wilson last week. And that was against an Army squad that's second in all of FBS against the run. So the question to UTSA's Wilson, a simple one. How do you prevent that from happening again?
They got 2 up. So we'll have to do a tremendous job. It's a big task. They're quality backs. They're both very productive for them. And so I think if we can get our guys in the right position to make tackles, wrap up, we'll be fine. It's a challenge for us, but we're up for it.
Coach, thanks for the time. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you later. So stopping number 26 going to be a huge key if the Runners are to get their 4th win of the season. Don, Chuck, back up to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Hector. When we come back, it's North Texas and UTSA at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio on College Football Tonight. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome for UTSA against North Texas. Time now for our SWBC Keys to Victory. First, Seth Luttrell and his Mean Green Eagles.
Well, the first thing these guys want to do tonight is control the football. They like to run the ball and then take their shots with the passing game, but controlling the football has been key to their success so far this year. Secondly, create turnovers, and boy, were they good at that last week. 7 of them in their upset win against Army. And then lastly, well, you watch these guys play defense, and they're going to blitz darn near every single down.
Chuck, what are the keys for Coach Wilson and the Roadrunners today?
Well, they've been very good in the first half of these football games, possessing the football and moving the ball up and down the field. They want to be able to maintain that from start to finish. Secondly, convert their opportunities. If they get some extra chances, they've got to turn those chances into points. And then lastly, match the physicality, because North Texas is going to be one of the most physical teams they see all year.
All right. Get your plates ready. Put away the beer pong. It's time for some football. North Texas and UTSA next. We're about ready to kick it off at the Dome. North Texas will kick off. UTSA will receive the runners in their Halloween all-black unis today. And back to receive it and letting it go out of bounds is Brett Wenigan. He'll let it go, and UTSA Roadrunners will take over at the 25. We said that Dalton Sturm likes to start fast. UTSA will take another fast start today.
Could be really interesting, Don, because of the amount of pressure that North Texas likes to bring, not only in the passing game, but in the run game as well. This is a very, very fast defense. The personnel is as fast as any team I think UTSA is going to see this year. And because of the amount of blitzing that North Texas wants to do, you have to believe at some point there are going to be some big plays afforded to UTSA. They just got to be able to find the right guy and really figure out where these blitzes are coming from.
1st and 10. Jarvion Williams on the pitch to the right, and North Texas takes him down after a gain of 3. Courtney Finney there to make the tackle. Time now for our North Carolina Furniture Direct starting lineups, and there you see Jarvion Williams headlining that offensive unit. Dalton Sturm will be the quarterback today. Up front, Austin Pratt back in as the starting center after an ejection last week. He earned the job halfway through the season. 2nd down at about 5. It's Williams again right up the middle. He picks up about 4 more as we take a look at our North Carolina Furniture Direct lineups for the UNT Mean Green. Keyshawn McClain, the stud there in the middle.
Oh, indeed he is. I mean, North Texas guys are saying he might be one of the best safeties in the country. We're going to find out today what he's all about. And how do you keep a blitzing team from doing a lot of blitzing? Well, come out, start this football game with 3 straight running plays. And very effective as UTSA as they pick up the sticks and get a first set of downs.
Dalton Sturm on the keeper. I think that that smoke got to me. Choking on that smoke that the runners ran out under. Here's Jarvion again. not getting much. America's Diamond is presenting the first quarter. America's Diamond, fine jewelry for everyone. Second down and 9 after not much from Jarvion Williams on that play. Good to see Andrew King back in at fullback. This week he is lined up there now. Makes a big difference in that run game for the Roadrunners. Sturm all day, throws deep, has Stewart, reaches up, and it's just batted away. Good defensive play by the Mean Green. Eric Jenkins was there, and he is the guy that their coaches talked about this week, Chuck, and we had the chance to talk to them. They love that kid, number 2.
Dalton Sturm under all kind of pressure here from Jareed Combs. Delivered a knockout punch there the second the ball was delivered. Really good throw by Sturm under pressure, but even better defense on the back end. They had a guy down there to break it up.
Third down conversion time for the Roadrunners. 3rd and 9, Sturm in the shotgun with Jarvion Williams behind him, 2 receivers to each side. North Texas blitzes. They send the house. Sturm in trouble, and he goes down. Ashton Preakton there, the sophomore, to make the tackle. Make it Brandon Gardner. He's also a sophomore, and UNT will get off the field.
Yeah, North Texas coming with a 3-front look, and then all of a sudden both linebackers go right up the A gap and putting all kinds of pressure on Sturm up the middle. Really tough for a quarterback when the pressure's coming from up there, but this is one of those things that UTSA is going to have to adjust to during the course of the game because, as we said, North Texas loves to bring the house.
Yanni Rootzes will kick it away. A nice high punt. Turner Smiley is back there. Smiley's going to try to return this, and he's upended right at the 18-yard line. Marcus Curry there to make the tackle. A 50-yard punt and a loss of 1 on the return.
Well, UTSA has been so special on special teams all season long, be it creating turnovers or their kick and punt coverages have been outstanding this year.
The first half instant replay is brought to you by Thomas J. Henry, proud to present all first half replays. If you've been in a car or trucking accident, call Thomas J. Henry at 210-656-1000, 24/7, nights and weekends. So we will see North Texas for the first time tonight. Jeffrey Wilson back there with their quarterback Mason Fine. He's a true freshman, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Oklahoma. And here is Wilson getting out of the tackle. Actually, this is Willie Ivory. We've talked so much about Wilson, but Ivory's also a very good running back. As we take a look at the Mean Green offensive lineman, there is the undersized Mason Fine, a 5'11", 170-pound freshman, but they like what they have in him. And of course, Jeffrey Wilson is most of their offense on the running game. Thaddeus Thompson, the wide receiver, is from right here in San Antonio at Cibolo Steele High School.
Yeah, they're backing up North Texas as they got a penalty on their first down, and I'm curious to watch Mason Fine run this offense down because, you know, when Coach Luttrell took over the program, he really wanted to put this kid in redshirt him, but he just kept wowing him every step of the way, and here he is.
It was a block below the waist as Fine throws a straight sideline ball. It is caught, but I'm not sure he was inbound. The official says incomplete, as it was intended for Tarian Gorey. Austin Jupy from East Central High School here in San Antonio on the coverage, and he did not bring that one down to the ground.
Yeah, Jupy doing a really nice job. I mean, once you get your hands on the receiver like that, and there's a chance you can bring the sideline into play, he did exactly that, pushed him out of bounds before he had a chance to get a foot in.
So second down and 20 from their own 9 for the Mean Green. Fine rolling out to his right, fires deep. That ball is overshot as he was looking for Turner Smiley. In good coverage by the Roadrunners, Tedrick McGee was there. If you look at our North Carolina Furniture Direct starting lineup for the Roadrunners, the all-conference senior Michael Iguagu at strong safety leads that group, along with middle linebacker 55 Josiah Tawa-Efa. We will call his name a lot tonight.
People making a lot of racket in here on 3rd and long.
3rd and 20 for North Texas. Fine on a keeper all the way, and he's going nowhere. Big number 90 had him in his sights, and that's Eric Banks.
Well, that's a win for the UTSA defense, of course, helped by that penalty on 1st down. And everybody covered on the back end, and that's one of the things they like about this freshman Fine. He's just the kind of kid that will not make the big mistake, and nobody downfield, so give your punter a chance to clear it and live to fight another day.
Guidry and Jabrise Taylor are back to receive. This is Guidry with the fair catch, and he takes it right there at midfield, and UTSA will have their 2nd possession when we come back. We're scoreless in the Alamo Dome after a 36-yard punt. We're back in the Alamo Dome. That 5 overtime game took a lot out of UTSA fans, but this guy's back. Speaking of 5 overtime games, UTSA right there in the longest games of all time, but how about Arkansas in 3 of the top 4 longest games of all time? 2 7s and a 6 overtime game. And North Texas right there has been in one as well.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, 5 overtimes, 5-hour football game. A lot of these kids really spilled it, left it all on the field last week, just came up a play or 2 short.
Here's Sturm, play action, looking deep, fires, and he just underthrew his intended receiver, Kerry Thomas Jr., who was on the left side. Eric Jenkins on the coverage, and that was just a bad throw. That's all there was to it, or it came out of his hand wrong.
Now, this is one of those defenses that, you know, he may start to get better or more hot as the game goes along because they throw so many different looks at you. They send blitzes from all over the place, and you know, he's just got to get his feet underneath him, maybe get a couple of quick early throws and maybe get him into some sort of rhythm.
Jarvion Williams for about 2. Josh Wheeler there on the tackle. This is a North Texas defense that is much improved. Last year they lost to an FCS team, Portland State, 66-7. They fired Coach Dan McCarney, hired Seth Luttrell. He has come in, and much like Frank Wilson here at UTSA, has re-energized and revitalized that North Texas program.
Be especially careful about a blitz on third down because they love to do this more than any other down.
Here's Sturm running for his life, gets out of trouble, fires, it's caught across the 35 to the 30 and upended and flipping is Josh Stewart. And that's going to move the sticks. Nice play by both Sturm and Stewart as James Gray makes the tackle, a 19-yard pickup.
Yeah, Dalton doing a really nice job eluding the pressure. And then we talked about this, Don. When you blitz as much as North Texas does, you have to assume that there are going to be some big plays downfield. But that has not been the case for North Texas. They put a lot of pressure on their DBs, and they're some of the fastest in the country. But UTSA doing a nice job there getting the first down.
Sturm under center with Jarvion Williams behind him. It's Williams on the carry. Does a nice job of finding his way across the 25-yard line.
We noticed this last week with Jarvion, now the school's all-time leading rusher, that, you know, in that first game against Alabama State suffered an ankle sprain, and then, you know, it appeared to us that he just really wasn't himself as he tried to work himself back into the playing field. And, you know, last week started to really show some signs of the burst and the Jarvion Williams that we have come all accustomed to knowing over the past few years.
Second down and 5 as Thomas Jr. comes in motion. It's another play action. And now Sturm will take off, and he's got some room. But coming up from his safety spot is Brandon Garner. Nice tackle there, but not before Sturm picks up a first down.
Yeah, and a really nice save here by Dalton, too. He had one little receiver coming across. Maybe could have thrown it to him, and then was hoping for a block downfield. Didn't get it, but still a really nice pickup.
Thomas Jr. comes out. UTSA taking their time with the play clock. It's down to 10 now. We get the play called with 5, and they get it snapped. Here's Jarvion off tackle, straight ahead, nice pickup. Again on first down as Calvin Minor makes the tackle, but you can tell that on each of these first down situations, the Roadrunners really trying to establish the run with Williams.
Well, it's been such a key component to what they want to do offensively. It's run, 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 and then try to take some shots down the field. And then obviously, you know, with your dual threat quarterback, you can do some things as well. But again, with the speed of this defense, sometimes you got to play smash mouth football, and that's, you know, it could be, you know, your best card to play against a squad like this.
Jabryce Taylor's at the top of the screen. Instead, it's Williams. Jarvion runs hard across the 10, down to the 9. It's close to the marker. Courtney Finney on the tackle. Jalen Rhodes in now at running back. As Jarvion checks out, I guess they think that's just short of the first down marker. Third down and about an inch. And Sturm will take it and pick it up himself on the quarterback sneak.
Yeah, it was a really good play there. I think he checked out on what they were going to run. He saw the look that was afforded him, put a little guy in motion there, and then went opposite the motion man and picked up the sticks. Good play by Dalton Sturm here as UTSA moving on its second possession of the game.
3rd and 1, you don't want to risk anything, and he took the risk out of it with that quarterback dive, and so it's now 1st and goal for the Roadrunners. Andrew King in the block for Jalen Rhodes in the backfield. Jabryce Taylor to the right, Stevens to the left. It's Rhodes trying to cut it back inside, and he cut it right back into that North Texas defense.
Yeah, really good pursuit by the front 7 of North Texas. And again, you got to really like what Seth Luttrell and his crew have done flipping the squad. I mean, they had a lot of JUCOs and new players that they brought into the system, and then they made no bones about it. They're rolling with a lot of the guys that were here. They're just playing to the strength of the personnel that they have, and well, you can't say enough good things. And you're right, Don. I think there are a lot of similarities between these two programs and what both coaches have been able to do.
2nd and goal for UTSA from the 7th, the 10th play of the drive. Sturm fires the back shoulder fade to the corner, jump ball, and it's incomplete, intended for Josh Stewart. UTSA fans over there wanted pass interference, but again, great coverage by Eric Jenkins.
Well, Eric Jenkins had a heck of a ball game last week against Army. He had an interception and also forced a fumble. Not the tallest DB on the planet, but certainly one of the fastest. He made a heck of a play right there to break up that play.
Might have been there a little early. Rhodes in at running back. UTSA 3 for 4 today on third down conversions. Brady Jones in the slot on the right side. Looks that way. Thomas Jr. caught. Touchdown, UTSA. What a strike from Dalton Sturm. And Kerry Thomas Jr. just beat his man on a nice foot in the ground move to the outside, cut it inside on the slant.
Kerry Thomas Jr. leading the team with 17 catches coming into this ball game. That's now 6 touchdowns on the year, and that is a new UTSA school record for a single season.
Victor Falcone's extra point is good, and the Roadrunners strike first, wearing their Halloween unis, trick or treat. We're coming back. The Mean Green will have it, down 7-0. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. Lots to cheer about for UTSA fans and lots of cheerleaders as we take a look at the play again. Kerry Thomas Jr. setting a single-season touchdown record with his 6th of the year.
Yeah, not only that, let's look at the job that Jalen Rhodes does back there in the backfield. I mean, that was really impressive. You better be sound in your blitz pickups against this team, especially late. And, boy, he really did a nice job. It looked like the pressure was going to come up the middle, and then late at the last second there, he kind of slid over and gave Dalton Sturm one extra tick to get the ball away and then also to improve the window that he had to throw the football through. So, outstanding job by Jalen Rhodes. Sometimes that kind of stuff goes undetected, but it won't today against North Texas, I can promise you that.
Daniel Portillo's kick is taken, and Tyler Wilson will take a knee, and North Texas will have it at their 25. UTSA's defense very stingy on the first possession. We'll see if they can do it again. North Texas has it when we come back. So UTSA strikes first. It's 7-0 here at the Alamo Dome. Don Harris, Chuck Mickatinick with you. Hector Ledesma down on the sidelines, and Kerry Thomas Jr. capping off that 11-play drive that went 49 yards and took 5 minutes and 17 seconds off the clock with a 7-yard touchdown. And Chuck, he's in good company there by breaking the record of one David Morgan.
Yeah, actually he broke his career touchdown mark last week as well. David Morgan II, now toiling for the Minnesota Vikings, had 9 career touchdowns. Kerry Thomas caught his 10th last week, so he's up to 11 and counting.
Here's Wilson. Jonathan Tuialasega there on the tackle. And first time we've seen Wilson carry it. Highly touted in the pregame show.
And we're going to have a physical football game, Don, on both of these defenses. I mean, you're looking at essentially the 2 top defenses on this side of the bracket. And, you know, I think the most physical team today is going to have a really outstanding chance to win this football game.
Mason Fine in the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Straight drop, wants to go deep, does. Fires a long route that was confusing to Turner Smiley, who turned to the outside, and he thought he was running a streak.
And UTSA doing a really good job getting the push up front. UNT's offensive linemen are huge, but those guys kind of struggled as a group when the season first started, but they've been pretty lights out here over the last few during their winning streak.
3 wide for North Texas at the bottom of your screen. 3rd and 10. UTSA showing blitz with Tawa Effa, and he drops back in coverage instead. Fine, scrambling, trying to extend the play, now goes deep, got a man, and what a play on the ball by UTSA's Nate Gaines. North Texas's Thaddeus Thompson, the pride of the Steel Knights here in Cibolo, was on his way to a touchdown, but Gaines leaped at the end and made a great play to break it up.
Yeah, good scheming by UTSA. Ball a tad underthrown, but UTSA knows when it's 3rd down, number 11 Thaddeus from Steel High School is the guy they're going to go to, and really a nice play by Gaines there to break that one up.
Jabryce Taylor back to receive the punt. He stands at his own 40, has to go back to retrieve this one at about his 25. Gets out of 1 tackle, dances to the 32, flag flies, and they get 2 flags coming in now late.
Yeah, obvious block in the back right in front of the referee, so that's going to pin UTSA a little deeper than they would like to start this drive.
A 52-yard punt, a 10-yard return before we have...
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 3 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 1st down.
All right, so that's where UTSA will have it, and they lead 7-0 here at the Alamo Dome. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. UTSA football, and Chuck, both of these teams making a run at that Western Conference division, and both of them with Louisiana Tech still ahead on the schedule have a chance at a bowl game.
Well, you know what's interesting, we talked about, UTSA maybe possibly having a hangover after the 5-overtime game last week against UTEP, but how about North Texas? I mean, they were an 18-point dog last week at Army and essentially ran those guys off their own field in the second half. So, maybe UNT's got to figure some things out too, and not be patting themselves on the back from last week.
Sturm throwing on first down and hit Kerry Thomas Jr. right in the waist, and he couldn't hang on. Nate Brooks, closest man there, but you can see right there, Thomas just pointing at him saying, my bad.
Yeah, and really good protection up front. Well, you can't throw it any better.
Hit him.
Thomas will be the first to tell you should have caught that one.
Hit him right between the 7 and the 7. Right in the middle.
Now, you won't see that very often, that's for sure.
Jarvion Williams back in on second down. Under 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. It's an option pitch to Jarvion. He's got a lot of room. Williams across the 30. Williams down the sideline.
Well, the UTSA coaches seeing something on that one. We talked about how much these guys want to bring pressure, and look at this. They catch the guy on the edge that's trying to blitz. They run right into it, and that's the risk you run if you're North Texas. If you're going to be bringing guys from all over the place and they catch you, there's going to be some big plays on the back end.
Jarvion empties the backfield to go all the way to the top of your screen. Empty set for Sturm. Blitz coming, he gets out of it, and now he's pulled down from behind by Josh Wheeler. Finished third in the nation last year with 16 sacks in junior college ball.
I think the interesting thing is, look at these guys. They're not going to stop. Double A-gap blitz. And boy, it's tough. I mean, a lot of this stuff is going to be recognition. You got to know they're coming, and you got to find the hot guy and get rid of him.
So a big loss on the play, and 5 to be exact. It'll be 2nd and 15. UTSA, here comes that blitz again, gets out of it, fires, great shoestring catch by Marquez McNair. Low and away, but a nice grab, and that gets some of it back. It'll be 3rd down and about 8.
Yeah, really nice play on that one. See, you learned from the last one. 2-step drop and let it loose, because they're coming.
UTSA with plenty of time on the play clock, getting the signal in from the sidelines. It's time for 3rd down conversion. They're 4 of 5 on the day.
Or McNair doing a really nice job getting his hands under that football.
Big 3rd down here. Sturm has time. Now takes off trying to get it with his feet. He stopped short right at midfield. It'll be 4th down at the 49 of North Texas.
UNT showing us a couple of different looks here on these last 2 3rd and longs. Coming into this game, their last 19 3rd and longs, they jailbreaked on 16 of them. They only 1 of 3, but it just goes to show you, too, how much confidence they have on their back-end guys to single up receivers and cover them up.
Turner Smiley stands inside his 10 to receive the Yanni Rutz's punt. Rutzis is a good one. Had some pressure that time. It goes off the side of his foot. Not one of his better efforts. And we'll see where the officials spot it. The guy's still running. And they'll spot it right at the 25, maybe the 24-yard line. And North Texas will have a chance. Only a 25-yard kick by Rutzis, but there was good penetration right up the middle by the Mean Green special teams unit.
Well, this North Texas team's going to get another crack here on offense, but what a wonderful year these guys are having. 4-3. They've only been eligible for postseason play once in the last 12 years, and obviously they're inching closer to that. Just 1-11 last year, as you mentioned, Don. Got a whole new staff, and can't say enough about the job they did last week. I think in a lot of these kids' minds, it solidified what they're doing here, upsetting Army like they did.
Here's Wilson breaking loose. Nice 1st down pickup of about 8 or 9. Tedrick McGee on the tackle. Jeffrey Wilson really came out of nowhere, out of Elkhart, Texas, just a junior, but just exploded this season. They did not know they had what he's shown in him until this new staff got here. Fine running a zone read, and getting the first down is Willie Ivory, the second running back. And Frank Wilson talked to Hector before the game and said, you know, it's not just Wilson, it's both of them.
Well, what's interesting is, you know, last week UTEP also had a really good running back, and, you know, talking to the coaches this week, they said last week UTEP will do a lot of motion, a lot of scheming, a lot of trading, but UNT is more of a stationary type. They don't show you a lot of different looks, but they still get the job done.
Wilson doing a pretty good job to get out of all kinds of trouble, but that flag down might be a face mask against UTSA. Lakel Bass came up, had great penetration on the initial play right up the middle, and I think he may have gotten Wilson by the face mask.
Yeah, inadvertent though it may be, it was a face mask nonetheless, and Lakel Bass is really exploding.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 94.
You know, Don,
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
In his last 3 games, he's had 29 tackles. He's had 48 on the season, so you can see what kind of player he's turning into. Just trying to make a play, get the guy on the ground, and really a good job by UTSA getting a lot of guys playing on the other end of the line of scrimmage.
Solomon Wise, who grabbed the face mask of Wilson.
That'd be one thing I'd like to see college football change too, because, you know, as often as we see face masks from the defense on the offense and how dangerous it is, then you see that stiff arm too, where, you know, the offensive player can put his hand on the cage and nobody ever calls it.
Fine. Brought down by Kevin Strong Jr., who read the zone read perfectly, and Strong, who made 2 brilliant plays in overtime in the 4th overtime last week that could have won UTSA the football game. Back showing up again here a week later. Could be the final play of the quarter. Throw it out in the flat, and it's incomplete. They're going to call it a fumble, I guess, and so Wilson gets back on top of it. Loses more yardage for North Texas, but that'll be the end of the first quarter. And they'll have third and really a long way to go when we come back. Second quarter action. UTSA on top. 7-0 at the Alamo Dome. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. UTSA on top of North Texas, rather, 7-0. As we get ready to start the second quarter. Halloween weekend, and the Roadrunners sporting their Fright Night unis. As we take a look at our night office solutions first quarter summary, of course, Kerry Thomas Jr. setting a record with his 7-yard touchdown run, and you see Jarvion Williams off to a good start as well.
And really, that's a win for UTSA. I mean, North Texas far and away the conference leader in yards allowed per game, and they're only giving up a little over 200 per, and UTSA got 86 on them in the first quarter.
So it's 3rd and 19 for North Texas to start the quarter. UTSA brings Tawa Efa up the middle, but it's complete. It's going to be well short as the Roadrunners regather. Solomon Wise on the tackle, and check out Josiah Tawa Efa's effort on this one. Watch him from play to play. He gets all the way to fine, gets up, and then tracks that play back down. He's all over the place.
Well, he did a really nice job. Obviously, the blitz coming up the middle, getting the pressure, and then Fine's going to learn real quickly what it's like from freshman to freshman. He doesn't want to have that encounter again, but an outstanding job by Solomon Wise fighting through 2 blockers right there to blow up that screenplay and force UNT into a punt.
Eric Keena on the punt. UTSA will let it bounce out. It took a wicked hop, but it is a touchback as we'll head down to Hector Ledesma. Hector?
Well, you guys talked about the importance of UTSA trying to establish the run in that first quarter with both Jarvion Williams and Jalen Rhodes. And when 2 guys get the boatload of the carries like that and they have to share, you wonder, is there a bit of a rivalry there? Well, with these 2 guys, no, they're best friends, roommates. In fact, Jalen calls Jarvion a big brother. Back up to you guys.
I tell you what, they're a great tandem. Jarvion a little bigger and stronger, Jalen a little quicker and more elusive, and it's a great 1-2 punch for the UTSA offense.
I like what they're doing. You're matching the physicality right now of North Texas, and it's showing up on the scoreboard.
Good penetration by the North Texas defense, but Rhodes is able to dance his way out of trouble and pick up a couple.
Well, they got Roderick Young, number 49, listed at only 287 pounds.
just that.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
He's trying to wear that 49 number to jersey number, make him look a little smaller.
Yeah, it's got the slimming effect that does the white, I guess.
Rhodes and Williams both in the backfield now with Sturm. Play action fake, fires the slant. That ball's caught. Josh Stewart's got it. It'll move the sticks.
Well, Josh Stewart's been such a big play receiver for UTSA, and usually his yards per catch are up over 20. And what a great catch on the back end of that, and an outstanding throw, putting that in only a place where his receiver could get it. Really good coverage there, I thought, too, by North Texas on the back end of that. Nate Brooks over there, but there was a nice threat.
All right, first down for the Roadrunners. Sturm checks out of the under center play and instead will take it from the gun. He's got all day in front of him. Runs it right up the middle. Look at his speed. Dalton Sturm across the 40. Eric Jenkins finally there, but when Sturm saw the Red Sea part, he knew what to do with it. 27 yards.
Great blocking up front once again. Look at the 2 guys over there on the left side. And then once UNT gets too far up the middle on their pressure, that's all Dalton Sturm needs to see. Busting it right up the A-gap for a huge gain for UTSA, now knocking on the other side of the other team's side of the field.
Dalton Sturm, very underrated athletically. He is a fantastic athlete, as we've come to know, with his speed and leaping ability. Just a fantastic all-around athlete. Firing deep, got a man, caught. Marquez McNair's got it. UTSA on the move.
Boy, the entire left side of the offense again stepping up. I mean, look at the protection and the window to throw through for UTSA on that one.
18 yards on the pickup.
Javante Damon, big number 78 over there, 6'5", 300 pounds. We've talked about him week in and week out. The transfer from LSU. Didn't get much of a chance to play over there because of the guys that he was playing in front of, or playing behind, I should say, but he's really done a good job.
Pump and go. Josh Stewart, corner, caught. Touchdown, Roadrunners. Well, the two brothers each have a touchdown. Kerry Thomas Jr. and Josh Stewart are brothers. And they've got a nice Halloween weekend for that family.
Well, we talked about Josh Stewart being amongst the leaders in the entire country in terms of his yards per catch, well over 20 yards per. This kid's been amazing coming up with big plays, and we talked about this, Don, at the onset. If North Texas is going to blitz, there's going to be some stuff available downfield, and so far, Dalton Sturm hasn't missed.
That 80-yard drive only took 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and UTSA now on top, 14-0 at the Dome. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. It's UTSA 14, North Texas nothing. The Mean Green will get the football, and we'll go down to the sidelines and Hector Ledesma. Hector?
Well, fellas, right after that touchdown, Josh Stewart was shaking his finger at Eric Jenkins, the quarterback for North Texas. Kind of a, I told you so, don't mess with me. Now, why would he do that? Those two have been going back and forth, jawing at each other throughout this entire ball game. In fact, on the first possession, when Jenkins broke up a pass intended for Stewart, Jenkins got right in Stewart's face. I was expecting a flag. Frankly, when it didn't come, I was a bit surprised. They let him play for a little bit, and let's see for how much longer it continues. But those two really getting after it verbally.
Yeah, in fact, Stewart took a shove in the back well after he had gone through the back of the end zone.
And all I know is that Josh Stewart's having himself a ball game. Fourth in the nation coming into this game with 23 yards a catch. His average is going to go down a little bit tonight as UTSA swarms on special teams. He's been targeted 5 times as Josh Stewart. He's got 3 catches for 53 yards, and he's having himself one heck of a ball game. And you could tell you know, as we move forward during the course of this season, this is a guy that Dalton Sturm is looking to more and more because he's got big play capabilities almost always on the back end of something positive. But the irony with, you know, him and his yards per catch is that coming into this game, he only had 15 catches. So not today, man. They're looking at him a lot.
It wasn't listed as a starter when we began the season, but had that breakout performance against Rice where he had 2 really long touchdown catches, and then was solid again last week in the 5 overtime loss to UTEP.
And then here we are on the special teams of UTSA. Their kick coverage is good as any in the country so far. About 16 yards allowed coming out of the end zone. That's not a whole lot.
Marcus Curry laying a lick on that last kickoff. Here's Fine throwing it. He's completing it across the 25 down to the 26-yard line for a first down as he hits Terrion Gorey. There you see the FBS leaders in yards per catch. Stewart among the leaders at almost 24 yards per grab.
Yeah, remember last week his couple catches too. His average wasn't that high, but he had some big plays in that game as well.
So Fine gets 13 on his first throw. Going to the outside sideline. That one was caught. Nice grab there by Turner Smiley. I'd like to tell you about Child Advocates of San Antonio, CASA. They are providing our closed captioning today. CASA helping children in San Antonio. 2 first downs in a row from Mason Fine, the true freshman quarterback from Oklahoma. Play action fake to Wilson. Fine extends the play, fires, and that's going to be picked off. Tedrick McGee read it the entire way. Intended for Willie Ivory, but McGee was just playing spy and cut right in front of the receiver to make the interception.
I couldn't have said it any better myself, and really baited the freshman into a throw he would love to have back.
UTSA leads 14-0. The Roadrunners looking to add to it thanks to the interception from Tedrick McGee. Tedrick McGee with the headband there, celebrating with his defensive teammates. Just a fantastic athletic interception here.
A little freshman on freshman crime here. We haven't called Tedrick McGee's number a lot this year, but Pete Golding and The rest of the coaches here at UTSA not afraid to roll with some of these younger guys. And just look at the stats again, Don. I mean, they've had 11 first-year starters on defense this year, 9 on offense, and only 3 programs in the country have started more first-time players. So a lot of guys are getting a chance to show what they can do, and Tedrick McGee did just that.
Play action fake. UTSA wants to strike quickly. Sturm checks down, goes to McNair. He's got it. Ball's out. They're going to call it incomplete. Didn't control it all the way to the ground as James Gray had the coverage. Boy, Sturm wanted to throw the bomb and made a wise decision not to because it was covered up.
What I like about this is that you're seeing the evolution of a young quarterback. Yeah, he wanted to go deep, but just before he saw his other wide receiver flashing, and it was a better, more safe throw.
I would replay that. Down. Chuck, after I look at this.
Previous play is under review.
If I'm UTSA, I'm going to argue that's a catch. It's a football move. My knee is down. It's a fumble after my knee is down. McNair's got it. He makes a football move, and then the ball comes out after he hits the ground. I think UTSA should get that gain.
Well, there you go. 1 foot down, 2 feet down. He secures the ball all the way till right there. Yeah. And his knee was down. Sure looks like it.
Sure looks like he's got the ball controlled here. Now, when does it start to come out? It's after his knee is down.
Yeah, that's a good challenge.
I think that's Roadrunner football just inside the 40.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know if they got a call down from the booth or what, but yeah, you're right. I mean, upon further review, it sure looks as though, there were 2 steps after the catch. He's got it there. 1, 2, 3.
Then the ball doesn't come out until after the knee is down. I think the longer you look at that, you're going to spot the ball at the 39. Of course, we've seen so many baseball, football, those guys with the same exact angle we have, and it's obvious what it call should be, and they come back and do just the opposite.
Well, the thing that annoys me a lot of these times, too, is that you have, a judgment play on the field, and then all of a sudden you've got a judgment call in the booth. So we'll let it take a look at it, see what they decide.
I think the issue here is not the catch. I think the issue is where does the ball begin to come out with the knee? And I think that's the only thing to look at.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass.
It's absolutely the wrong call. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, how many feet do you have to have moving forward? Does that constitute a football move?
Yeah. Ask Des Bryant, says AJ Godina is our producer. Wow, I don't understand that one at all. All right, so UTSA will have 2nd down and 10 from their own 30.
That's a big boy play right there.
Sure was. Jarian Roberts in there from Clarksville High School in Clarksville, Texas, to make the play on Jarvion.
Yeah, that's the last train from Clarksville. Mercy. It's a nice athletic play by the big fella right there.
Play clock down to 19. Roadrunners 4 for 6 on 3rd downs today. This is 3rd and long, 3rd and 11.
Like they're coming with their press coverage.
They show blitz, they come. Sturm gets out of it, buys time. Now can he find a receiver? He's still on his feet and wisely gets out of bounds. Only pick up about a yard or get back to the original line of scrimmage. So UTSA will punt it away, but a smart veteran move there by Sturm not to let it fly with his wide receivers covered up.
Well, he saw everybody was covered, and actually after he broke contain, this is just better defense. Check it out. Rolling to his right. He was trying to bait that
There
DB.
is no foul on the play. 3rd down.
Right there. But that was just a better play on the back end by North Texas. So sometimes you just got to tip your cap. That was Taylor Robinson over there.
Correction, 4th down.
Doing a really good job of forcing that play into no gain.
So the Roadrunners will run Yanni Rootzis out there to kick it away with 9:22 to go. looked like maybe have had a defensive hold on the receiver. They threw the flag, but then they picked it up. Rootsis, nice high kick. Turner Smiley underneath it. He's got room. He's going right up the middle to the 37 before Jalen Dukes brings him down. Breaks coming in North Texas territory. 47 yards on the kick. UTSA leads it 14-0. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. Everybody ready for a festive Halloween weekend. UTSA band keeping everybody entertained during the break. Under 9 minutes to play here in the second quarter with the Roadrunners leading North Texas 14-0. Mason Fine threw an interception on his last effort, a young true freshman.
We'll see if UTSA's defense can keep it up. I mean, into the second quarter here, and only 44 yards of total offense for North Texas to this point.
They run Wilson inside. He's gobbled up.
We talked about this last week. You know, when they were playing UTEP, you knew you had to stop their star running back. And I think for the most part, UTSA was able to do that. They gave up one 41-yard run, but if not for 5 overtimes, no, this rush defense did a really nice job, I think, overall.
Nikhil Bailey on the tackle. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 for the Mean Green. Fine keeps it himself. He is taken down after a gain of about 2. King Newton from the inside, and also got some help from the secondary.
Yeah, I think Fine reluctantly kept that football that time.
Looked like there was some confusion.
As you said, not the biggest young man on the planet. If he's 5'11", I might be 6'4", but this young man really has shown a lot of unbelievably good qualities so far in his freshman campaign. More so than anything, he's winning football games.
Just a true freshman. Blitz coming, and he's sacked. UTSA, a host, got there, including Micah Guagu. The all-conference safety came off the edge, and he's the one who blew it up.
Wow, gave North Texas a dose of its own medicine that time. Mason Fine was feeling pressure from every single conceivable angle. They dropped the guys in the middle, which confused the young quarterback, and then by the time he realized what was going on, he was picking himself up off the turf. Yeah, 9 got a free shot there.
Bryce Taylor back to receive the sidewinder punt. That was going to hop right to him. He's got it at the 20. He's got a little crease across the 30, and a really nice return by Bryce Taylor to better UTSA's field position on this drive, as they'll have it north of the 30. Taylor Robinson, the freshman, brought him down. 44 yards on the punt, 12 on the return. UTSA will be looking to add to their lead when we come back to the Alamo Dome. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. UTSA leads the Mean Green of North Texas 14-0. Let's go down to the sidelines. And Hector.
Guys, Marcus Davenport, Stevens grad, was one of the 5'6" road runners involved in that last sack. Well, we're going to feature Marcus coming up on the Nissan of Bernie halftime show. He was forbidden to play football. So what changed? That story coming up at halftime.
Look forward to that, Hector. Thanks. First down for UTSA. Jalen Rhodes, the tailback, and he's got it, and he gets outside. Jalen Rose across the 40. Look at the speed by Jalen Rose near midfield.
I like the speed. I like the feet. I mean, man, he saw that hole, and he's just got another level in terms of burst and agility. Look at that. Twice. A little shifty with the shoulders, kind of throwing some guys off. Really nice first down run and a chance for UTSA to really put some pressure on North Texas. If they can find the end zone and go up 21-0, UNT doesn't have the kind of offense. It's going to be really hard for them to come back in this football game.
Stepped out about the 45. Rhodes takes it again at the 45, picks up maybe a half a yard. E.J. Agia on the tackle. Mean Green trying to keep UTSA off the board, because a 3-touchdown lead at the half, as Chuck said, would be devastating for the Mean Green, since they are pretty much an option run game offense. Nice blitz package that time. Coming off the edge was Calvin Minor, the junior, and he blew up that play of the Roadrunners.
Yeah, getting some help too from James Gray. This is a team that's going to live and die with its defense. They love to gamble. They love to take some shots. Really nice play there, kind of peeling off his block. But they just don't want to get too far behind in this football game because their offense is predicated mostly on the run, and then they'll take some shots downfield, but mostly after they set you up and gas you with the run.
Dalton Sturm will need to take a shot here. 4 wides, 3rd and more than 10. Pressure coming, and they eat him up. Dalton Sturm had nowhere to go, as coming off the edge was Fred Scott from Kennedale High School in Kennedale, Texas. A loss of 9 on the play. And North Texas, the defensive coordinator, is calling up the right blitz at the right time.
Now the blitz protection there was pretty much non-existent, and 32 had a free shot.
Turner Smiley stands at his 25. And Roots' punt is going to be a short one. Might hit somebody in the back. And instead they're
talking about you, Marcus.
4:25 to play, trying to get on the board for the first time tonight. Job everywhere he's been as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, came Oklahoma, but North Carolina set all kinds of school records a year ago for yardage and points, and when he was at Indiana, coach there. And done some really good things. Our conference call, we asked him if he had any stories about Gronk, and he chuckled. He said,
both he and his offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell, Willie Ivory still on his feet, churning, but well short of the window. And we thought with that kind of background, those wide splits, we'd see a little bit of a wide open attack from North Texas here today, with Graham Harrell making the play calls.
yeah, but you know, all the time, buddy. They just don't have the personnel to do it. So they're doing the things that they think they can do the best in order to win football games, and to this point, you can't argue
He is destroyed, but Wilson has it across for a first down. Will Mason Fine get up? That's the question. He does, and so does Wilson. But when you're 5'11", 170, and you take the shot that he took from Davenport at the end of that play, you wanted to sit there and make sure he still had 10 fingers and 10 toes.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was talking to some of the North Texas people before this football game, and they said this kid really got the respect of his team. Held its own. But he got beat up a lot in that game, too. That was when their offensive line was trying to find itself, and that's a tough team to find itself against.
Hangs in there again, completes it to Ivory, who cuts it back and gets across the 50. Down to UTSA 25. Fine, slow to get up again.
And the coaches were telling us from UTSA this week that they've been dropping him into coverage more to give some other guys some opportunities, because so many defenses, so many offenses of the opposition have been keying on Davenport and trying to stop him with 2 or 3 guys.
Texas out of rhythm offensively for the first time today as Wilson is stopped after maybe a gain of 1 by Kevin Strong. Mean Green want to go fast. Graham Harrell signals in those plays. Ivory, Wilson, both in alongside the freshman Fine. runners showing blitz. Tawa-Efa's coming. Now he drops back into coverage. Fine with nowhere to go. Now has a man deep, but he underthrew him, and it was almost intercepted. Jordan Moore, the track star from LSU, was there to break it up, intended for Willie Robinson, and that ball just didn't have enough juice on it. Wasn't going to get there.
Well, Fine was running out of time, and for him, there was nowhere to go with the football. He wanted to hit his check down guy. Take another shot, which he ended up taking anyway. Let that one loose, and we talked about his ability. You know, one of the things that he's done the best at this year was protect the football. He's made some really unwise choices in some of his throws today.
3rd down and 9 as Wilson goes in motion. Looks that way, fires to Wilson. Got a blocker, splits him. Wilson to the 30. He's got speed. He gets all the way down to the 5-yard line before Michael Aguagu runs him down, but North Texas threatening with 1:17 to play.
That's just unfortunate. UTSA had 2 guys over there that easily could have stopped this. Instead, he just ran right through 2 arm tackles. Jordan Moore, one of the guys that had a crack at him, and that's just a huge play for North Texas. You know, they're down 2 scores in this game. UTSA has a chance to get off the field, and they can't do it. Now they're knocking it down.
1st and goal for Mean Green. Wilson alongside Fine. Bad snap. Fine keeps it. Whistled down before the snap, and we may have movement.
Timeout. UTSA. That's their first.
North Texas burns one here, and so what would have been an advantageous play for the Roadrunners is a low snap. Doesn't count. Kevin Strong comes off holding his left hand.
UTSA's defense, we talked about this, how well they've played in this first half.
Please reset the game clock to 55 seconds. 55 seconds.
Second to the clock, but, you know, North Texas only had 40 or so yards prior to the start of this drive, so that's been kind of the bell cow for these North Texas kids all season long. You know, even in games where, like last week, they really struggled in the first half against Army, but they held their own and then blew things open in the second half. Take a look at the splits right there. I mean, 44 yards in their first 5 possessions, and then there will be 60 from this drive alone. So, really, as little as they've done on offense, they get a punch right here.
4 for 5 for 57 yards on this drive. And he's got 1st and goal from the 7. Quick drop. Throws it. Caught. Diving for the goal line. Is he going to get there? No. Thaddeus Thompson will steal high school. And Nate Gaines had some 11-on-11 crime going on.
Doing a nice job staying with us. I thought once Thaddeus Thompson made that spin move, he was going to score, but all that extra time in the weight room paying off for number 11, denying him the score right there.
2nd and 1. 20 seconds left. Fine. Wilson churning for the goal line, still pushing forward.
What a fucking dog pound it!
There. Timeout, which they shouldn't have had to burn because the officials needed to blow the whistle there.
How about the surge by the UTSA guys up front? You can't defend your own goal line any better than they just did.
The officials sorted out. They'll reset the game clock to 11 seconds.
Tawa-Efa got the first crack at him, but again, when you get that big of a push and can cut the line that quickly, it allows some of these other guys to get involved. So they're going to put 11 seconds back on the clock.
He's down to 4. That's the right call. And North Texas will have it 3rd and goal and still have their timeout.
Go get it. Go get it.
Well, you can do just about anything they want on this play.
This is where having a 170-pound quarterback doesn't help you. You want to run a sneak.
No, we talked about their running back, even as good as he is, he's not the biggest kid on the planet. But Ivory's a little more stout. It'll be curious to see who they go with on short yardage. But again, the running back's done a nice job all year, has Wilson. He's got 12 touchdowns and one of the leading scorers in the entire country.
Here's a look at the game clock. You can see he's down. Jeffrey Wilson in at table. Wilson, running back. 11 seconds. 3rd and goal. It's Wilson. He stops short. Second effort ball comes out. UTSA has it. Watch out, Micah Guagu. Time has run out. Micah Guagu still on his feet. Micah Guagu is going to be brought down by the 40. Wilson was the only person who could make the play, and he did.
Make your stand, UTSA, before the half. How about that? Wow. Denied on 3rd down. I was a little shocked that North Texas decided not to go and snap the ball from center. There were 3 or 4 guys that got a crack at 26. Finally, the ball came free, and UTSA stoning them at the gate. What a way to end the first half if you're the UTSA Roadrunners.
The only way it could have been any better is if Guagu would have taken it to the house, and he almost did. As we go down to the sidelines, and Hector Ledesma with Coach.
Coach Frank Wilson here. Coach, I see you looking up at the board for the replay. Are you looking at what Egg could have done differently in order to score?
You know, I was just seeing how close we were to bringing it all the way back. Outstanding job by the defense, and the Never Say Die spirit. The ball at the 1-yard line and just really stuffed them, then knocked the ball out and scoop in an attempt to score. Everything that you practice on came into fruition just now.
How about your defense coming up with that big stop there at the goal line right now?
That was tremendous. That's tremendous. They've been very good the first half. Haven't given up any points. Have a couple of plays here and there, but I'm proud of the effort they're putting out right now.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.
Don, Chuck, back up to you guys.
Thanks, Hector. UTSA on top 14-0. Big goal line stand by the Roadrunners at the end of the second quarter. When we come back, we'll have our halftime show. Stick around. Good one at the Alamo Dome. UTSA 14, North Texas 0.
Go straight it! Take that!
What you want to do, Banks?
No. Yes, baby. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And welcome to the Nissan of Bernie halftime show. Better prices and better selection. It's Nissan of Bernie, just 12 minutes north of Fiesta, Texas on I-10 West. Welcome back to the action.
You're too small, boy. Quick down, boy.
Easily the tallest player on this Road Runner football team. That's not the only reason that Marcus stands out. All-conference match. I'm going to mention that. And preseason all-conference this year, Marcus came into this season with a unique perspective, and it's a perspective that's shaped in part by his past in athletics.
It's hard to imagine, considering how many big plays he's made in just 2+ years with the Roadrunners, but if things play out a certain way, we never hear any of this.
Football was never a thought.
So was basketball your first love?
Yeah.
When did that change?
It had to change going into my freshman year when my dad didn't want me to play football.
And so the summer before Marcus took to start his freshman year at Stevens High School, Ron at Davenport came up with a way of ensuring his son would try other sports out there. It was also a way of keeping football at an arm's length from basketball.
My 8th grade year, I was getting beat up on, I was playing every position, basically getting beat up in the football field, and he didn't want me to play, and so he happened to buy every camp package that we had at Stevens, and it just so happened it was football camp, and I went there and I kind of loved it.
Loved it to the point where Marcus, then an offensive player, was ready to choose football over hoops. There was just one thing he had to do first.
It's like, hey, Dad, I'm doing really good at receiver, and the coaches like me. They want me to play. He's like, I don't know. I had to make him believe that I really wanted to play, that I was gonna play.
How'd you do that?
I went out there and showed him, you know. I was relentless on my effort. I never wavered.
His dad now on board, Marcus's game grew, as did he. 6'2" by his estimation as a freshman, Marcus reached the 6'7" he stands now by his senior year. As his body transitioned, so did where he lined up on the field.
At first, just learning the plays had to be the hardest part. Placing hands and feet, it came natural after that.
Indeed. In fact, it wasn't long until schools like Texas A&M, Baylor, UT, Utah started contacting Marcus, signaling to him that he had made the right choice in choosing football over basketball. His first letter came from UTSA.
I decided just to take a visit because it's close to home, and came here and I loved my teammates. That's really what sold me.
Once on campus, Marcus, all 6'7" of him, stood out. It wasn't long before his game did too.
Nobody really expected me to be able to play because I was so light, and I don't know, it was eye-opening. There's a whole different speed to it.
How long did it take you to adjust?
2 weeks, because a lot of people got injured and then I had no choice but to adjust.
Baptism by fire, huh?
Yeah.
2 years later, Marcus has an honorable mention all-conference selection and a preseason all-conference selection under his belt. But despite the accolades, despite his place on the team, number 93 saw the beginning of a new era as a new beginning for him.
When you first get here and you see 6'7" on the roster, what's the first thing that goes through your mind?
My type of guy. We like guys with range. We like them long. We like them athletic. So he fits the prototype of the guys at his position.
Does that come with any pressure, knowing that when a new coach steps in, him and his staff are looking for big things out of certain guys, and you're one of them?
Yeah, it's been a lot of pressure, but I try not to think about it honestly. I try to think back to my freshman year where it's just a clean slate and just take it play by play.
We challenged him to restructure his body, to get bigger, to get faster, to get stronger than he's ever been before. We come back from spring football in the summer, and he's gained 20 pounds. And he's stronger than he's ever been. He's heavier than he's ever been. And he's faster than he's ever been.
His game and his size suggest the NFL is a realistic goal. Maybe fitting, considering playing pro ball would go hand in hand with the professional attitude Marcus maintains when it comes to not only his play, but his preparation.
I think about it constantly. Like, if I feel like I didn't have a great practice or a perfect practice, I feel like it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think he has the intangibles. He probably need to gain a little more weight and continue to enhance his fast twitch fibers and enhance his speed, which with our strength and conditioning staff, which I think is second to none, he'll be able to do those things, and certainly he'll have an opportunity to play on Sunday.
Constant double and triple teams suggest opponents wish Marcus would have taken his dad's advice way back when. As for Dad,
What does Dad say now about you playing football?
Oh, now he's like, I think you've earned the right that you can play defensive end.
Marcus Davenport and the Roadrunners lead North Texas 14-0 at the intermission, and our Nissan of Bernie halftime show continues right after this.
Yeah, can you tell us what we're going to do? Can you show me the highlights? Just the two scores? All right. Kerry Thomas Jr., 7-0. Okay. Hey, it's not worth talking about since it's a North Texas broadcast, but 26, who fumbled, makes an awesome play to stop Aguagu. A hustle play.
What you talking about?
It was unbelievable. I don't think we've seen it in our replay. 26, the running back who fumbled. Watch him on the rest of that entire play. He's the only person that can stop Aguagu from scoring, and he does. I know he fumbled. That's a heck of a hustle play, though. Yeah, he got up and never quit. Aguagu would have scored had he not run him down.
And welcome back to the Nissan of Bernie halftime show. For better prices and better selection, it is Nissan of Bernie, just 12 minutes north of Fiesta, Texas, on I-10 West. Out on the field, I'm Hector Ledesma. The UTSA Roadrunners lead North Texas 14-0 at the break. Now, if social media is any kind of an indication, I have a feeling I know how many of you feel about these Blackbird uniforms that UTSA is wearing today. And I can tell you, the school really appreciates that because of how much work went into creating these uniforms. Let's just say they're 2 years in the making. Yes, 2 years. The idea for the all-black uniform started when UTSA head coach, or head equipment manager, I should say, Mike Villa, approached Adidas about playing off the fact that orange is a main Roadrunner color for a special Halloween look. So Villa went to work, came up with what you're looking at, putting an emphasis on orange chrome, including on the face mask for the helmet. But because UTSA's game on Halloween last season came at North Texas, Villa and staff held off, hoping this season's game on Halloween weekend would come at home. When it did, it was then a matter of getting on the same page with first-year head coach Frank Wilson, who favors the more traditional look, especially for such a young program. Now, for Mike Villa, creating a brand new look is nothing new. In fact, it's what he's become known for, not only around campus, but around Conference USA. He's responsible for not only the traditional look, but the orange jersey and the orange pants. And then there's Don Harris's favorite look, the white helmet, the white pants, the number on the helmet with the white jersey. That is a Mike Villa creation, too. All in all, he says this, though, the Blackbird, is his #1 creation.
This is going to be our best look, our best uniform we've ever come up with, you know. From head to toe, there's been every kind of thought process to shades of black matching, to ordering things, you know, for a year and a half in advance. So this is a big-time project for us, and it came out really well. We're excited about the opportunity to do something special for our student athletes. The fan base all week on our Twitter has just been amazing, you know, to see their excitement, their energy kind of pick up, you know, especially maybe after last week's game. It was good for us to release this uniform and kind of pick us all up and get ready and put that behind us and get ready for this new week.
And starting today, the jerseys and several helmets on auction for the next couple of weeks. Now, the school breaks up the auction into weeks. So from now to November 7th, you can bid on jersey numbers 1 to 29 and 2 separate helmets. November 7th to November 14th, you can bid on numbers 30 to 61 with 2 helmets. And then the auction continues after that. To go to the auction, go to goutsa.com/auctions. Don, Chuck, back up to you guys.
All right, the uniform czar gives the helmet a big thumbs up for sure.
Yeah, that's a clean
One
look.
of their best looks for sure. Hey, let's take a look at the first half highlights. UTSA on top 14-0. They came out running and throwing. Dalton Sturm going to Josh Stewart, and that would be a sign of things to come as Stewart got the Roadrunners moving. His brother sets a record with his 6th touchdown of the season, and in the second quarter, Dalton Sturm can beat you with his arm and his feet. Big run up the middle here to soften up the North Texas defense, and then he went to Kerry Thomas Jr.'s brother, back to Josh Stewart, touchdown Roadrunners, and a great defensive stand late. North Texas was knocking on the door a couple of times, had first and goal from the 1. They stopped him once, they stopped him again. Wilson fumbles, Micah Guagu almost takes us to the house, and UTSA now looking really good as we take a look at the first half stats.
Yeah, that was a huge play by King Newton to remove Jeffrey Wilson from the football there, but this was just a huge defensive stand. I can't say it enough to end this first half and keep this game scoreless. UTSA up 14-0 and dominating this football game.
If you learned last week, don't leave. We've had overtimes. This one's going to be a good one. UTSA and North Texas, the second half next. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. I just want to explain, this has got to be some sort of a Halloween get-up. That's not how he normally looks. As UTSA taking on North Texas, and we take a look at the quarterback comparison. And Chuck, you can see right away it's a freshman inexperience against a vet.
Yeah, and our vet's a redshirt freshman. And a former walk-on, right?
But with a lot of experience after last year.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, I think the biggest thing is he hadn't turned the ball over. I mean, this was a North Texas squad that forced 3 fumbles a week ago, had 4 interceptions a week ago. And remember, last year, North Texas only had 4 interceptions in the entire season. So it tells you the strides that they've made getting to this point, but just an absolutely near flawless performance by UTSA on both sides of the football in that first half. They better keep it up, though, because these guys exploded on Army last week in the second half.
Willie Ivory back to receive this kick. It's Tyler Wilson who's got it, and Tyler Wilson runs right into a tackler and comes down at the 20-yard line. And so with North Texas getting the football, imagine the momentum they would have had they not fumbled on that last possession, maybe have scored and then had a chance to tie it here as you take a look at their first half possessions.
I mean, these games are won and lost on 1 or 2 plays each and every week. I mean, UTSA absolutely stones these guys for their first 5 drives. North Texas finally gets it going. Looks like they're going to cut this game in half going into the locker room. Instead, King Newton makes a big strip, and they're still pitching the shutout. So, bully for UTSA.
1st and 10 from the 20 from Mason Fine and the Mean Green. This is a run all the way for Fine, and he's got some room. Mason Fine's got speed. Mason Fine is gone for the North Texas Mean Green. Touchdown, North Texas. No flags.
Well, he kept him out of the end zone at the end of the first half. They did not keep him out of the end zone on the first play of the 3rd quarter. My goodness. A design quarterback keeper, and I don't know that we knew that Mason Fine was this fast, but we do now. Mercy. Give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. What a huge play for North Texas, and just like that, this 80-yard touchdown run gets them right back in this football game.
A 1-play, 20-second drive, and Mason Fine would probably take issue with us that his 80-yard dash time is 20 seconds. But it's 14-7, and you know, Chuck, when we talked to the coaches from North Texas this week, they said one of the reasons that they started a true freshman was that they watched his tape in high school, and the kid had extraordinary ability to find his way out of tacklers and be able to run. What they didn't know was that his maturity level would lead him to start at a Division I school as a freshman. But you can see the 2-time Gatorade State Player of the Year from the state of Oklahoma, where they play a good brand of high school football. You can see all his talent on that one play.
Well, then you're Coach Luttrell, you get here to campus and you realize the guy you're probably going to start on paper is senior Alec Morris, who was a transfer from Alabama. But they've made no bones about it. It's kind of like what's going on at UTSA. The best guy's going to play, and every single time they gave this kid a chance, they just said that the offense seemed to click. Everybody on the offense seemed to respond better when Mason Fine was in there. And boy, this young man, one big play's got his squad back in it. Now North Texas is fired up.
Yeah, Matt Guidry is eating up Willie Ivory, the running back, down there on special teams to make the play. As you check out our SA Specialties scoring summary, that 80-yard touchdown, the longest play of the season for the Mean Green.
We've had some explosives here lately, so has UTSA, but my goodness, I don't think we expected to see a quarterback draw go for 80 yards to start the second half, that's for sure.
Well, Seth Luttrell and his coaches may have seen something on the film that allowed them to make that adjustment with the way UTSA was lining up, but the Roadrunners will have a chance to answer. Here's Dalton Sturm. He's got Andrew King as a blocker in there for Jarvion Williams. They hand to Jarvion, runs behind King, but he has stood up, and North Texas is fired up as Courtney Finney, the linebacker, makes a tackle. Here's UTSA's first half possessions, mixing in a couple of touchdowns with 4 punts. Looks to me like, according to that graphic, it's time for a touchdown.
Well, not only that, I mean, you could see only 4 yards on their 2 previous possessions. And, you know, again, this is where these games are won and lost. You're up 14-0. You got a chance to deliver a knockout blow late in the first half, and they were unable to even move the football.
Play action, blitz coming, Sturm in trouble. Now just fires it to the sidelines, and Seth Luttrell wants a grounding call.
Yeah, he ought to get it, too.
I don't know. It's going to be close to see if Sturm was outside the tackle box. There was no receiver on that side of the field, and so there will be no penalty. We take a look at our Ram, presenting sponsor of the third quarter action, Ram Trucks. Proud to present the third quarter. Ram is America's longest lasting pickups. There's a slant on third down, incomplete as they were looking for Brady Jones. And UTSA went into the half with all the momentum in the world after the play by King Newton and Micah Guagu. And all of a sudden, you look up, North Texas goes 80 on one play. They hold on defense, and they're going to be getting the football back at about midfield in very good field position.
Yeah, you see how fleeting momentum can be sometimes. It is definitely flipped.
Yanni Rutsis on to punt, gets away a high spiral that will be fair caught right at the 40 by Turner Smiley. And Mason Fine has caught his breath. He'll bring out the Mean Green offense when we come back. 43 yards on the kick by Rutsis. It's North Texas football from the Alamo Dome. They're getting funky in the end zone. The UTSA band having a good time. Halloween weekend, and UTSA and North Texas playing a good one here at the Alamo Dome. Momentum back in the Mean Green's favor after an 80-yard run by Mason Fine and a stop by their defense. And now they have it at their own 40 on first down as Fine had it come out of his hand. North Texas, and I think UTSA's got it. Are they going to call it an incomplete pass? Jonathan Tuialasegu was there. They're ruling it a fumble and a recovery by the defense.
Well, they were setting up for a lateral. I just didn't see how the ball came out. He just lost the handle, but his arm was going forward.
The previous play is under review. Huh?
But they were setting up for a lateral. He just lost the ears.
We saw this very play last week in the Houston Texans game with Brock Osweiler. And it depends on where he loses control. The arm and the hand have to be coming forward with possession of the football for it to be considered an incomplete pass.
But is it different when you're setting up to do a lateral? It wasn't necessarily a forward pass on that one because they were lateraling the ball backwards.
It's a good question. It is a very good point.
You're not going to be able to see it from this angle. His arm was going forward, but the question is,
where did the ball hit?
Yeah, was this an intended pass or was it a
review,
lateral?
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
I think that's a good call, Don, because they were setting up for a lateral.
Yeah, even if the ball is a forward motion coming out of his hand, if it lands behind the 35-yard line, which is where his foot was, then it's a lateral. It doesn't matter if his arm then makes no difference. The motion, it's where the ball is, and the ball was a lateral, period.
Well, it's a good call by the refs there. And that's a huge break for UTSA because obviously they needed to get another turnover. And North Texas, uncharacteristically, has given it back 3 times today.
UTSA football. Here's Jarvion Williams trying to get outside, and a good job coming up from the corner spot to make the tackle from North Texas. It was number 30 for the Mean Green, and that's Jarian Roberts from Clarksville.
And McClain getting over there too. We talked about his skill set as a safety. Just a magnificent ball player with size and good ball hawking ability, and obviously has a nose to get over there where the football is too.
That'll be 2nd and 12. Sturm, straight drop, got all day. Fires his check down, and it's complete. Nice throw by Sturm. He had to throw that football a long, long way. And then he has words with the referee after the play. He thought he might have been roughed. Ashton Pretton there on the coverage.
Well, we talked about the physicality of both of these teams, and you know, it's been North Texas's credo all year that we're going to pound you, we're going to pound you, and we're going to pound you, and eventually you're going to submit. Well, so far, UTSA has stood up, but this team likes to get after you.
The Roadrunners 4 for 9 on 3rd down today. Sturm throws the out route, has a man, it's caught, it's a 1st down. It's Marquez McNair. Nate Brooks makes the tackle, but not before UTSA moves the chains.
Well, it's all about the protection up front. You're going to give Dalton Sturm this kind of protection when North Texas is committing this many guys to pressuring the quarterback. There are going to be some guys open downfield, and a nice job by McNair running the crossing route and getting open.
Santikos Entertainment, proud to present all of our second half instant replays. Santikos invites you to be part of the legacy. 1st down and 10 after the 15-yard gain. Sturm hands to Williams. Jarvion right up the middle. Has 3.
Jarvion had a really big first half. He had 48 yards rushing, was averaging over 4 yards a carry. And I think UTSA wants to go back to its bread and butter. You know, they started this ball game really playing physical smash mouth football. And I think they want to get back to their roots in this football game, see if they can't crack the end zone again.
Andrew King in to block for Jalen Rhodes, who's the tailback. Stewart to the right, Thomas Jr. to the left. It's Stewart all the way on a pump and go to the back corner, and Stewart came off his route, and Sturm just missed him as he threw it out of bounds anyway. It looked a little bit like Nate Brooks had confused Stewart at the end of that route.
That and North Texas dropped back too. Of course, they're showing blitz on almost every single down, which is what they like to do, not only on passing plays, but run plays as well. And last week, you'll remember, UTEP got back in that football game because they were so good at committing to stopping the run and doing a lot of run blitzing too.
Take a look at the North Texas coaching staff as McNair comes in motion. He and Jones are in the slot on the left side. Sturm looking left, now fires, and incomplete on third down, and so UTSA will likely run out Falcone. Ashton Preton, again, the linebacker on the coverage, and a good job by the North Texas defense to stop UTSA on this drive.
Yeah, it's a tough pass to complete on the other end when you're asking the receiver to make the adjustment while the ball is in mid-flight, but almost a big pickup there for UTSA on third down.
Victor Falcone from 33, and it's right down the pipe. More points for the Roadrunners as they up the lead to 17-7 and make it a two-score game. North Texas will have it when we come back, down by 10. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome, where UTSA leads North Texas 17-7. Crowd of 19,553 on hand here. And in case you need the update, Texas held off Baylor by 1 in a good win in Austin. The Spurs lead the Pelicans 55-45 at the half, and the Indians lead the Cubs 3-1 in the third inning at the World Series.
That game going on over on our sister station, Fox. Corey Kluber, pitcher, getting a big hit tonight.
Daniel Portillo's kick, gonna bounce at the 20. Tyler Wilson's got it. Tyler Wilson's got some room. Nice return across the 30-yard line. Mason Fine will get another shot at it after the last drive ended with his fumble. Marcus Curry on the tackle there, a 23-yard return.
And UTSA's defense really doing the job today. Of course, we talked about the 3 turnovers that they've already created, but for Pete Golding's group, you know, he said the biggest thing this year is we've been running in so many guys in and out of this lineup. First, we want to see it from these guys, all of them, during the week. And they have to work hard and show that they can do it in practice. And then, you know, it's really asking a lot of our guys to just go with one unit. So they're shuffling a lot of personnel, and all these guys have really done a nice job stepping up throughout the year.
Jeffrey Wilson on the carry.
Of course, they're demanding the guys work hard and buy in and not play for themselves. And Coach Golding said that fatigue is usually mental and not physical, so they want to keep all their guys fresh from that standpoint. And then, it makes them practice harder. It makes them be more attentive in the meeting room, knowing that there's a chance that they could all get in there and play.
2nd down and 4. Wilson near the 40. Stopped short of the 1st down marker. Getting up off the bottom of that pile is Ben Kane, who just subbed in on that play.
Yeah, and what's interesting is we talked about UTSA selling out to stop 26 Jeffrey Wilson, and before that carry, he only had 9 yards on 8 carries. So Pete Golding with the beard and his crew doing the job to this point as this squad's up 17-7.
See what Pete dials up here on 3rd down and 2. Tawa-Etha in the middle. It's a play action, and Fine is going to run. Fine's got the 1st down. Fine's got speed. He's all the way inside UTSA territory to the 40-yard line before Marcus Davenport finally brings him down after a 20-yard gain.
Well, Coach Golding is going to be really happy that this is exactly the defense that he drew up. Look at that. There were 2 guys on UTSA that snipped this thing out from the onset, and yet Mason Fine still making a play with his feet. He's already gashed him for one 80-yard run here in the 3rd quarter, and right there, another super athletic play to extend this drive.
Lakel Bass just couldn't quite get him. Sets up another 1st down. Here's Jeffrey Wilson off tackle. He runs into trouble and runs into Kevin Strong and Tui Alasega. On pilot after a gain of about 1.
Well, we talked about the game that Jeffrey Wilson had a week ago with very few touches. He only had like 12 carries, but 160 yards rushing, 3 scores. Kid's an amazing back, and he's a nice complement with Ivory back there as well, but UTSA doing a phenomenal job stoning the running attack for their running game, not minus the quarterback.
2nd down and 9. Fine, straight drop. Goes a little screen and airmails. It's picked off, and he can't keep his feet. What a job by Chase Dahlquist. Fine threw it right in his area. If he hadn't have stumbled, he would have housed it.
Wow, another turnover created by North Texas, or actually by UTSA against North Texas. UTSA just snipped out the screen, and then when it was a bad throw, Chase making a really nice play on the football and giving his squad another opportunity to go down and get some points. Cannot say enough about the job that UTSA has done. As you take a look at the stat, unbeknownst to us, hey, that's his 1st interception of the season. So really good job by Chase, and another stop for UTSA's defense, who's really asserting itself in this ball game.
I thought he was going to the house, but he just stumbled. Jarvion Williams in a Wildcat set, reverses it. Sturm's got it. Sturm can throw it if he wants, but he doesn't have a receiver. He's going to just run for the sideline and then do the smart thing and unload it, as Josh Stewart was double, if not triple covered all the way down the field. Only had 1 guy down there, and it was Stewart, and he was doubled up. Didn't fool North Texas, and now they're going to call a grounding, I believe.
Intentional grounding on the offense, number 14. The player was not the one who received the snap. It's a loss of down at the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
You can't blame Sturm for that. So he's taught all week long to do this as a quarterback. What he doesn't remember is he's not a quarterback on this play. Jarvion Williams was the quarterback, and so that's just instinctive of your quarterback to think he's outside the tackle box and to just throw it into the stands. But when it's a double reverse and you're the 3rd guy to touch it, that's against the rules.
Well, just an outstanding job by North Texas, specifically O'Kieran Rutherford, down on the back end of their defense. The ball's changing sideline to sideline, and he stayed with the receiver, and he had some help downfield.
Jalen Rhodes back there blocking for him as Sturm rolls out, fires a dart, it's caught. Still on his feet, lunging. Josh Stewart, another big day for Josh. Keyshawn McClain on the coverage.
Well, I really like what Dalton Sturm was able to do on this. Rolling to your left, not easy, but watch what he does. Stops his feet, squares his shoulder, and you're right. That was an absolute P that he threw downfield. And when in doubt, you need some big yards. Go to Josh Stewart's looking at a 100-yard day if he can catch another couple balls.
Matt Guidry in a bunch set over there with Andrew King to the right. Guidry comes in motion. Instead, it's handed off to Jalen Rhodes. One man tripped him up. Otherwise, Jalen might have scored. Keyshawn McClain got him around the kneecap, and that's the only thing keeping him from the end zone. Maybe he just took his shoe off.
Yeah, just unleashed the sneaker for him.
So Jarvion will run back in. Larry Stevens comes in as well. Jabryce Taylor now in at wide receiver. He's soloed up at the top of your screen.
Got to get the end zone.
King and Stevens on the right side. Here's Jarvion right up the gut. Spins off a tackler, but he's short. Just across the 15. And Keyshawn McClain, we're calling his name a lot along with Courtney Finney, and there's a reason these guys were preseason all-conference picks. Keyshawn led North Texas in tackles last year with 110. Sets up second down. Here's Jarvion, great change of direction. Maybe he gets 3. He's short of the first down by about 2 yards. It'll be third down and 2. Big play here for the Roadrunners.
All right. You saw the same things we did. Once he cut to his left, man, I thought that was going to go for a sizable gain. But North Texas, their big boys up front are very good at getting to the area and closing up those holes quicker than most.
Stevens to the right, Taylor to the left. It's a hand to Jalen Rhodes. He finds the end zone for a touchdown. Jalen Rhodes finding a crease and finishing the run.
Unbelievable balance by Jalen Rhodes. Little counter to his right, zips it back across, and then look, takes a hit and then lunges for those last 2 yards.
The previous play of a touchdown is under review.
Let's see if he did indeed get in. Yes, he did.
No question about it. Take that back angle again, and you know, when we see these guys run through the tires in training camp, tell me this isn't that drill. Jalen Rhodes is running through those stutter-staggered tires in training camp with his quick feet. Just fantastic balance, as you said.
Yeah, it's not easy to do. You take a shot, and the best thing is you're right, he finishes off the run. Knocks him off his balance, but gets his hand down there, which helped him for just a second. But I think the first thing that went down was his buttocks.
And when it went down, the ball had already crossed the plane. Here's the stutter stepping through the tires. And then, oh, he's well in. Now, I've been wrong once today. The replay officials told us earlier that the receiver had not completed the catch on the one that we thought was a catch.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
The Roadrunners looking to make it 24-7 as Victor Falcone comes on to kick the extra point. Yanni Rootsas will hold. They have to wait for the rest of the officiating crew to get in position.
Points off turnovers so huge, especially in this third quarter.
That kick is drilled right down the pipe, and UTSA in total control right now. Up 4 scores on the Mean Green.
Yeah, what's interesting, Don, is that North Texas has not won a ball game all year where they've given up more than 22 points. We talked about points off turnovers being so huge. Last week, North Texas created 7 turnovers and ended up beating Army. Today, they've had the tables turned, and UTSA is rolling in the third quarter.
Have you been told otherwise? Okay, cool. Give him the option. We're here anyway.
Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. Chase Dahlquist responsible for that last score. All 10 points have come off turnovers. He had the pick as we go down to Hector Ledesma.
Yeah, interesting note about Chase Dahlquist. He was a redshirt junior. He missed all of last year because of injury. As a sophomore in 2014, played in all 12 games, started 6. In 2013, a freshman, he played 9 games, had 1 start against whom? North Texas. Also, he's a Roadrunners' first ever recruit back in 2012 from Oklahoma, from the state of Oklahoma. Back up to you guys.
All right, Hector, thanks a lot. North Texas will watch this one bounce through the end zone. Tyler Wilson's not going to bring it out, and young Mason Fine has had the trials and tribulations of a freshman quarterback. That's not uncommon as you look at the scoring summary. Jalen Rhodes finishing off a 6-play, 50-yard drive. But, Chuck, he's not the only freshman that they're playing at North Texas, which is good news and bad news. It's bad news for the present. It's really good news for the future.
Well, yeah, they're playing 9 true freshmen this year. 53 new faces all told in the program. 5 redshirt guys are playing regularly. So not unlike what's going on with Frank Wilson and his group. They're playing a lot of young guys, too. And I think what's interesting is we take a look at Mason Fine's stats for the game. Coach Luttrell was telling us this week, the first thing he figured out when he got to this conference and going to the coaches' meetings is that there are a lot of good coaches in this league, and this league is awfully competitive, probably more so than most people give credit to. And he said, you know, if you're not ready to play each and every week, you're going to get beat. And I think a lot of us coming in, we're thinking, man, UTSA is going to have its hands full with the way North Texas has been rolling here of late. I mean, even in their losses, they've looked super competitive. And it's just one of those things where I think UTSA playing with a little chip on its shoulder after what happened last week and not finishing that football game. Ball on the ground.
Here's Fine. He does a good job of scooping it up, and he's really, really shifty and fast, and he does a great job of turning what could have been another disaster into a big game for the Mean Green.
Yeah, he's been really shifty, and we talked about this young man and some of the things they really like about him in the passing game, that he's polished, he's got a strong arm, but what we've seen more than anything else is that if he gets himself in some space, he's a handful to bring down.
Jeffrey Wilson busts one right up the middle.
Yeah, and that's really his first signature run of the day, which is saying something given the week that he had a week ago. But UTSA doing a good job of stopping the running backs. Now they got to see if they can stop the quarterback as well.
All right, trying to get out of trouble is Wilson. Lakel Bass trips him up right at the stick.
We talked about Lakel Bass coming on the last few weeks. He's got 5.5 tackles for losses this season, which is tied with Tawa Efa. He's been around the football a lot in the last month.
Big third down play. Third and a long 1.5. Fine in the shotgun. Wilson off tackle. Right at the marker. I believe he's got the first down. Depends on the spot. Looks like it from here that he got it. Ben Kane on the tackle. They'll move the sticks, and the Mean Green will continue to drive down 24-7 here at the Alamo Dome as we tick inside of 4 minutes.
Really good job of finishing off that run for Jeffrey Wilson right there. Low leverage and power running to eke forward for the first down.
Fine in the shotgun. Play action. He's rolling out to his right. Got a man wide open. It's Thompson. Thompson across the 25 down to the 23-yard line. The young man from Steele High School right here in San Antonio with a big play for the Mean Green. C.J. Levine there to make the stop, but it's a 16-yard gain for North Texas.
One of the things they like about Thaddeus Thompson is he's a physical receiver, He's got good size at 6'2", and again, he's the guy that they really like to go to when they're facing some critical downs, and he made a nice play right there.
Throw it to Wilson out of the backfield, makes a man miss. Across the 25 to the 23. That'll be second down and about 9. Willie Robinson in at receiver for North Texas. Trips to the right-hand side. Tyler Wilson at the top of your screen.
UTSA showing blitz off the right side, but now dropping back.
Quick throw out to the flat. It's caught. Across the 20 and across the 15 is Tyler Wilson. Ball came out at the end of the play, no whistle. UTSA football. And the officials are looking at each other, waiting for somebody else to make the call.
It sure looked, from our vantage point, like he was down, that the ground caused the fumble, but I guess we're going to find out.
They have our third review of the day. He's got the football there. Ball is down.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down.
That's the correct
First
call.
down. Yep, let's go.
I don't even think there's even a reason to replay it. The replay official's probably in his ear are not going to hit the buzzer. Good call.
All right, last time the UTSA had to stone it up inside the red zone, they did just that. Now they're going to take a timeout.
UTSA is calling the timeout. If you're UTSA, you want them to look at this, and you're wondering why they're not, but they don't have
timeout, UTSA. 30-second timeout.
Sometimes you take that timeout hoping that will buy the time for the replay officials to second-guess themselves and call down there, but they're not going to do that because they saw what we saw. As we take a look at the Conference USA scoreboard, Western Kentucky, of course, the class of Conference USA all over Florida Atlantic. Middle Tennessee leads Florida International by a touchdown in the third. And La Tech, where UTSA is headed in a couple of weeks, all over Rice. Wow. Then you look at Marshall and Southern Miss. North Texas beat Marshall. UTSA beat Southern Miss. They lead 10-7, and then Old Dominion and UTEP a close game at the half in El Paso.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a UTSA fan, and I'm assuming you are if you're watching this telecast, you really could use Marshall to rise up and bust Southern Miss today. If that were the case, you know, still a lot of stuff ahead for UTSA because of who they've got left on the schedule. Assuming they handle their business here today.
Third down and about 6 inches for Fine. Hands it to Wilson. He's got the first down. And he's got inside the 10-yard line down to about the 9.
Boy, as tough as it has been for him to run the football today, that was really patient running right there by Jeffrey Wilson. You know, we talked about the kind of runner that this young man is, but to come into this point in the ball game, to be sitting there with, before that carry, 13 carries for 25 yards. He's still their bread and butter, and they can't forget about him. And they needed those 6 inches. They knew exactly where to go with the football.
First and goal for the Mean Green. Fine, bubble screen, caught. Down to the 5-yard line is Willie Robinson. Chuck, you talked about if you're a UTSA fan, and I assume you are if you're watching this broadcast. That's funny because I just got a text from North Texas Hall of Famer, my old pledge brother, Lance White, who is up at North Texas watching this game on Conference USA TV on the internet.
Very nice.
Wondering why I'm a homer for UTSA when I went to North Texas.
Nice play by Nate Dames on the previous play to stone it.
Inside of 30 seconds in the third. North Texas on the move. Wilson churning. Gets down to the 2.5 before Marcus Davenport brings him down. Whistles will stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the quarter.
I'm curious to see what North Texas is thinking here if they don't get the touchdown on this play.
They're going to burn a timeout here and talk it over.
Red zone visits have been
That's
very
the end
infrequent.
of the third quarter.
I don't blame them.
They're not going to burn a timeout. They're just going to let the clock start on the roll. And that takes us to the end of the third quarter. UTSA leading North Texas 24-7. 15 minutes left to play here at the Alamo Dome. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. It's the familiar come and take it flag up as we start the fourth quarter. It's going to take a lot for North Texas to take this one. They trail by 21 points with only a quarter to play. But their young quarterback, Mason Fine, is perfect on this drive. 4 for 4. As you look at our game summary, UTSA really taking momentum right before the half. North Texas threatened early in the third quarter, but then a couple of turnovers, and UTSA scoring off those turnovers has been the big difference. Fine is 5 for 5 on this drive, and this will be the 12th play of it on 3rd and goal from the 4. It's a hand to Wilson. He dives forward, but he's short. Decision time for Seth Luttrell. And it looks like he's going to run his field goal team out there. That would make it a 2-score game. A field goal would cut the lead to 14.
Well, you've got to get 3 points at some point, but just a great job by UTSA staying at home. You know, North Texas doesn't do a lot of motion and a lot of shifting, but Josiah Tauaefa smelled that one out all the way and forced these guys into a field goal attempt here on 4th down.
Trevor Moore for a 20-yarder from the left hash. Booms it through, and so it's 24-10. North Texas comes away with points, but They're going to need more than that. They're going to need 2 more touchdowns to make this one, to send us to 5 more overtimes like we did last week.
Well, I don't blame Coach Luttrell at all. You know, you're in a situation where you're in a football game and you're down 3 scores. Sure, you wanted to come away with a touchdown there if all possible, but you can't win the football game right here, but you can certainly lose it. So what you've done is extend this game a little bit longer. You know, you turn the 3-score game into a 2-score game, and you got a field goal kicker that you know you can trust. It's essentially an extra point. The kicker that you have is 83 for 83 in his career kicking extra points. So, you know, would have liked to have gotten the touchdown, but you'll settle for 3 at this point. Now you've got to have your defense come up with a stop or 2. Make this thing a little more interesting.
Tyrell Clay and Matt Guidry back for the Roadrunners. Eric Keena on to do the kickoff duties. One of the best punters in the country. He'll kick it to Guidry at the 4. Guidry gets a block and he hits the seam. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Let's go down to Hector Ledesma.
Hey, Don, you came back from break talking about the familiar come-and-take-it flag. Well, it goes beyond that this year. Before the season started, the school put out a statement by Coach Frank Wilson saying he wanted to make a concerted effort to, when the 4th quarter came, it was rally time. It was let's go time. And in that huddle before the UTSA AD went back out for that big 3rd down stop, the coaches, not the players, the coaches were getting in everyone's face saying, put those 4s up. Put those 4s up. It's the 4th quarter. It's something that runs through this coaching staff, not just the players and the fans. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Hector. Good stuff to Bryce Taylor. Split left. Sturm under center. Straight handoff. Jarvion Williams for 1. North Texas bows up there. Keyshawn McClain making the tackle.
Now if you're UTSA too, I have no problem with that call on 1st down. The first thing you want to do is get the clock moving. First and foremost.
It's moving. 13:45. 2nd and 9. Call it 2nd and 10 as they did not give Jarvion a yard there. Said he got back to the line of scrimmage, and Sturm changes the play. Straight drop for Sturm. Saw something that he likes. Instead, he'll take off. Trying to get to the sideline, and does. Gain of about 4. Courtney Finney ran him down.
Yeah, North Texas at this point really selling out against the run. Safeties have been creeping up these last 2 plays, and then Finney, that was his job. He was spying all the way. Dalton Sturm, I think, initially thought he had more run or more room in which to run. Finney just doing a nice job. We talked about the speed of this North Texas team, and it really showed up there.
Finney out of Bay City, transfer from Trinity Valley Community College. North Texas showing blitz, and here they come. Sturm tries to buy his way out of it, rolls right, hits Kerry Thomas Jr. for a 1st down. Nice throw, and even better catch by Kerry Thomas Jr., who had to extend to make the play.
Well, you talk about big plays on defense that, you know, might win you a football game here late in the 4th quarter. So does taking time off the clock and moving the sticks. UTSA doing an outstanding job on these first 3 plays to start this drive of picking up a fresh set of downs and moving clock while they're doing it.
Stewart's the top. Instead, they hand it off. Jarvion Williams still churning across midfield. Nice gain of Jarvion Williams of about 10.
How about that all being Jarvion Williams right there? That should have been a tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Instead, he shows off how powerful those legs are, breaks through the arm tackle, and then at the end of that run, was able to nudge just forward enough to get a fresh set of downs.
1st and 10 from the North Texas 49 for Dalton Sturm under center. Little option running right. Decides to keep. Sturm's got speed. Sturm slides down short of the 30, but not after another UTSA 1st down.
Now, if you're North Texas, you got to start taking some chances. When you see this play coming right here, the first thing you've got to do is go with the quarterback. Make him get rid of the football, because if he does, maybe there's going to be, you know, somebody having a harder time finding the handle when it's pitched. But you cannot let the quarterback run free like that.
14 yards for number 14. Sets up another first down. Kerry Thomas Jr. wants to know what the play is, gets it. His brother's at the top of the screen. Sturm looking his way. He's under pressure. Now he's going to be dropped. Sturm trying to fight for yardage, but it'll be a gain of about, well, it'll be a sack because it'll be short of the initial line of scrimmage as Keyshawn McClain got back there.
Now the pocket was collapsing all around Dalton Sturm on this one. Three-step drop. May have had a tight window to throw to, but discretion, the better part of valor right there. I mean, yeah, you end up losing 1.5 yards, but the bottom line is you're able to take another 30 or so seconds off the clock just by taking the loss.
As you can see, about 10.5 minutes to go. Protecting a 14-point lead are the Roadrunners. Second down and 12, little draw play to Rhodes. Rhodes, can he beat one guy? He does. But he's tripped up right at about the 20. Keyshawn McClain, the only guy between Jalen Rhodes and 6, and he just got enough of him to slow him down.
Oh, what a great play call, and look at all the blocking up front. Guys getting trapped all over the place, and you're looking at second and long, and UTSA making it look like it wasn't that big of a deal. Didn't get the touchdown, but got a fresh set of downs.
Rhodes will stay in on first down. Josh Stewart at the bottom of your screen. It's Rhodes. Rhodes gets outside. Rhodes following his blockers. Jalen Rhodes, touchdown, Roadrunners. 19 yards.
How about that drive? North Texas thinking, okay, we've managed to cut this to a 2-score game. UTSA comes out and just punches North Texas in the mouth. Only one completed pass on that drive. The rest on the ground. Took a little time off the clock and are able to up their lead by drive's end.
Falcone's extra point is good. And UTSA answers with an 8-play, 69-yard drive. 63 of those yards coming on the ground. 31-10. It's all Roadrunners here at the Alamo Dome. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. Let's go down to Hector Ledesma on the sidelines.
Well, Jalen Rose was initially a verbal commit to Texas Tech. That's when Cliff Kingsbury took over the Red Raiders, assessed the list of recruits, and decided Jalen was a guy that maybe he didn't want to pursue. So Rose looked at other options, decided on UTSA, and I guess we can say that Coach Bro's loss is UTSA's gain. Back up to you guys.
I'll say he's turned out to be quite a runner, a compliment to Jarvion Williams, and the difference in styles, as we talked about. Jarvion more of a power runner and Jalen more of a scat back, and you saw his speed on that last play. Tyler Wilson coming out. He's got the 20, cuts up inside, and he's brought down there. And interesting to see how North Texas plays this from behind, down 31-10 with only 9 minutes to go. They don't have a real open passing game that you would expect they might have with their coaches with a background in Mike Leach's system at Texas Tech. But you'd think, Chuck, that they're going to have to spread it out and air it out in order to have any sort of chance.
Well, I think what's interesting, Don, really with both of these coaches is their ability to adapt. They're obviously both coming into new situations, but hey, you know, Coach Luttrell, I think a lot of people want to peg him as a Leach guy, which he is, and he said, hey, you know, when I was at Arizona, we threw it 50 times a game. At North Carolina, it was a little different because we had a running quarterback. The scheme doesn't change, but you have to do things based on your talent. And really, they don't have those kind of weapons yet here at North Texas, but you got to believe with Coach Luttrell and company, they're going to have it at some point.
Fine, throws, it's caught. Nice job by Turner Smiley to pick up about 7. Raquel Bass makes the tackle short of the yard marker, though. It's going to be 2nd down and 2.
And UTSA can afford to play a little more loose because they want to keep everything in front. Make them take their time getting down the field.
Fine again, finding Thompson. Thompson has the 1st down. C.J. Levine, the sophomore, on the tackle.
North Texas obviously going no huddle to try to get down the field as quickly as it can.
Still got the very dangerous Jeffrey Wilson in the backfield. Trip receivers to the left-hand side for Fine, who looks that way and throws the slant. It's caught for a gain of 5. Kenny Byers on the reception. Nate Gaines on the tackle. 2nd down and 5 for the Mean Green.
And you see how deep the UTSA linebackers are dropping right now in an effort to make sure that nobody gets behind them.
Willie Ivory in at running back alongside Fine and Wilson. Gaines is showing blitz off the edge. Throws over the middle. That's caught. Bouncing down to the UTSA 35-yard line is Turner Smiley. Mason Fine in a bit of a rhythm. Tedrick McGee makes the tackle, but not before a gain of 25.
Oh, how about this throw? Talk about this young man's accuracy, and right on the button, right over the 2nd line of defense, and a nice completion there.
Fine. Again, throwing it to the check down guy. That's Ivory. Tawa Effa had him wrangled around the ankles at the 30. He lunges forward to the 27. And with 7:54 to go, North Texas feeling confident. As we said, spreading it out, airing it out. 2nd down and 3. Everybody bunched in the middle. They go off tackle. Wilson is knocked down by Ben Kane. He's pushed back. I think his forward progress got him another 1st down for North Texas.
Ben Kane doing a really nice job. There was mass confusion as UTSA did a whole bunch of substitutions on that last play. Ben Kane stopping that when UTSA probably needed it most, because I don't think anybody else knew what was going on.
1st down. Zone read, handoff to Wilson. Wilson fighting for the 15, gets there. Laquel Bass on the tackle. It's going to be marked short of the 1st down. A nice gain of about 8 for Wilson as the clock ticks inside of 7 minutes. North Texas trailing by 21. UTSA applying the bend but don't break philosophy here. It's 2nd down and 2. Fine. Pressured, throws over the middle, through behind his tight end. Kelvin Smith was there, but a lot of pressure coming from King.
Now they're getting pressure, and they're also taking away his checkdowns. He was going to throw it out in the flat. He was running back, but that was all covered up. And then before you know it, he's got a guy barreling down on him. And Wilson was wide open on that play. He just missed it.
3rd down and 2 for the Mean Green. Ball spotted right at the 17-yard line of UTSA. Roadrunners showing blitz. And they come. Tauefa right up the middle. Forces the check down throw, but it's caught for the first down. Terrian Gorey with the catch at the 10-yard line. New set of downs for North Texas. Nikhil Bailey on the tackle.
Yeah, Bailey giving him some space over there, but doing a really nice job of bringing down the receiver after the catch was made. Textbook.
Fine has 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Wilson in the backfield with him. He looks over the middle and now sprints out. He has a man. It's caught right at the 10-yard line. Marcus Davenport just drilled the receiver. Don't know if the ball came out. It might have. This might be UTSA football. Marcus Davenport with a shot. Causes the fumble. Roadrunner football.
How about your 5th turnover on the day for the UTSA defense? Rise up, fellas.
UTSA in control, 31-10, their football.
Is under review.
Welcome back. Referee Rodney Burnett trying to sort things out. From the looks of the replay, North Texas should retain possession here. That football popped out, but not until after the receiver was down. Taking a good long look at it.
I agree. I mean, I think that's what they're going to call too. Can get another look, but can't say enough about the job 93 Marcus Davenport from Stevens High School has done. I mean, we talked about his athleticism. He's 6'7", 245 pounds. He's going to have a chance to play football at the next level. He's only 5 sacks behind Jason Neal for the all-time lead at UTSA in that department. But, you know, this guy is so athletic. He's got basketball on his resume. I don't know that there's anything that Marcus Davenport can't do on the football field. And, you know, we were talking a lot with the coaches this week about his ability to drop back in coverage. And free some other guys up to make some plays. But look at his pursuit of the football here, coming back from the blind
After
side.
review, the runner's knee was down. It'll be second down.
UTSA fans don't like the call, but it's the right one, and the young quarterback who had turnover issues early in this half has rebounded. Mason Fine is 12 for 14 for 141 yards passing, and he's also run for 107. So he's bounced back. The question is for the Mean Green, do they have enough time to score 3 times with 6 minutes to go? Got a big break there as the receiver Terrion Gorey was down before the ball popped out.
Now UTSA can take a few more chances on defense with the goal line as their ally on this series.
Fine, throws a slant, caught, diving for the end zone is Kenny Byers, and he got there. Kenny Byers got it. Touchdown, Mean Green.
I'll tell you what, he earned it. Coming up a quick slant, delivered the ball right into his hands, and then Byers somehow weaves and twists his way into the end zone and bullies his way in as well. He had 3 guys over there putting some pressure on him by the goal line and still able to sneak his way in.
Trevor Moore on to add the extra point. It's up, and it's good. It's 31-17. But there's only 5:45 left. The Roadrunners will try to ice it when we come back. Up 31-17 here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Welcome back, 5:45 to play. All right, Chuck, I know you've had your calculator out the entire commercial break. Is it onside time yet?
Absolutely. You're down 2 scores and you only got 5:45 left in this football game. Well, you got some timeouts, but you saw what happened the last time they kicked the field goal. UTSA got its hands on the football, went the length of the field and scored. So, I mean, you need possessions, and I think based on what their defense didn't do on the last possession, I think you got to right here.
You saw the scoring summary thanks to SA Specialties.
He got it.
It went 10 yards as well. That's usually the thing that does not happen. When the kicker looks like he's going to go to his right and goes up the middle, usually he tries to pounce on it before it goes 10 yards, but I think it's going to be close. If you look on the replay, he got there right at the 45-yard line. North Texas
rolling on the field as the kicking team recovered the ball.
Great job by the kicker, Trevor Moore. It went, right there on the 45. And I wonder if that bird head logo is going to affect the call in the replay. Because you can't, I think it went across, sure enough. That's a good play by North Texas.
That's one of those things you got to be really heads up.
The previous play of an onside kick recovered by the kicker team is under review.
Now the only question is, did the kicker make any contact with the football before it went 10 yards? Initially, I would say no, he did not. It looked like he got it cleanly right after it went 10 yards, but it's going to be really hard to see.
Oh, it is so close.
Yeah.
We're going to have to almost freeze it where his hand touches the ball for the first time.
But even then, we don't have an angle. It's one of those things, if you're UTSA on that play, you can go up and try to make a play on it before it gets to 10 yards. You don't have to wait for it to go 10 yards. And by sitting back and waiting, it quite possibly just cost them this recovery. And if North Texas did get it, guess what? It's game on.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Please set the clock to 5:44. 5:44.
So that play took all of 1 second. Trevor Moore making a play for the Mean Green, and Seth Luttrell looking at his bag of tricks here. What plays do I have to score 14 in 5 minutes?
We were talking to him this week, and Coach Luttrell said, hey, he had no preconceived notions coming in. He knew that the transition wasn't going to be easy, but he's trying to develop a culture, and he was really proud of the way his players have bought in and how the coaches have taught these kids. He said, our guys fight every second of every game, and that's the thing that makes him most proud. And I think we're seeing some of that today, obviously, here in the fourth quarter, especially.
You see Mason Fine's numbers as he completes it to Thompson. He's now 14 of 16 in this half. Nate Gaines making the tackle, but the young freshman quarterback from Oklahoma has been red hot.
Keep everything in front and try to take as much time off the clock as you can if you're UTSA.
Fine over the middle, has Thompson wide open. If he doesn't stumble, he might have scored.
Well, if the defender didn't stumble, he wouldn't have caught the football. So it was tit for tat on that particular play.
16-yard gain. Trips right for North Texas. Fine looking that way, firing that way on the slant. It's caught. Gain of about 5. Kenny Byers, who just scored the touchdown. And they're going to add 15 to this because we've got a flag.
Foul, roughing the passer with targeting. Number 93 of the defense. The player's under review.
Now we'll see if Davenport will be ejected for the head-to-head.
Did he lead with his head? It looked like he hit his shoulder from that angle.
In college football, if helmet hits helmet, it's an ejection. In the NFL, it's the crown. But in college, it's helmet to helmet, period. And it looks like he led with it, and it looks like Marcus Davenport might be exiting this football game. Replay official looking at the angles that we have.
Well, there's a couple things we can say about this. Obviously, Marcus Davenport's had a whale of a football game. He's just playing hard, and it's hard to measure intent just looking at that play. But another thing we can tell you for sure is that Mason Fine has taken a beating in this game, and this young man keeps getting up time and time again off the canvas. And he's sticking a couple of blows to UTSA as they completed the pass on the other end.
Hit him right on the jaw, and that is going to cost Marcus Davenport an ejection. It's also going to give North Texas 15 yards and an automatic first down.
You were joking earlier about the overtime situation. All of a sudden, we had a 3-score game. Now it's down to 2. And
after review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 93 is disqualified. The penalty is half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And North Texas is marching down the field and knocking at the door again.
So Marcus Davenport knows he made an illegal play, but I tell you what, that young man is flying around. He is next-level athlete. He is fantastic. He caused that fumble that they reversed that call because the ball didn't come out till the player was down, but he's running faster and hitting harder than anybody else out here, including his teammate Tawa Efa today, and that says a lot. First down for the Mean Green. Under 5 minutes. Mason Fine seemingly gaining confidence with every rep. Fires a little bubble screen to Byers. He got into the end zone the last time. This time he's short of the 5-yard line as Nate Gaines and Micah Guagu were there. North Texas has to go quickly here. Second and 3. Wilson straight up the middle, still on his feet, bounces to the 2. And they'll stop the clock to move the change. It'll be first and goal from the 3-yard line.
Well, they got run up the middle if they want it.
Wilson off tackle. UTSA held here and caused a turnover, remember, at the end of the first half.
Well, maybe not.
Mario Napoles with the tackle. Tick-tock for North Texas. Under 4 minutes. Second and goal. Mason Fine changing the play. Fires quickly to the outside. Got Byers. Touchdown, North Texas. Flag flies. We'll see what happens.
You're going to throw a pick play.
Sure enough. That's coming back.
Huh? Pass interference on the offense, number 11. 15-yard penalty, second down.
Well, you hardly ever see this called. They're going to get Thaddeus Thompson doing a little rub by the goal line.
Yeah, Seth Luttrell is beside himself on the far sideline, letting the official have it.
Now, you know, I should say you hardly ever see it called against the Patriots. And that's what they do, man. Rubs and picks all the time. They do it better than anybody. That's a huge penalty, obviously. Backing them all the way up to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, took points off the board. Second and goal from the 18. Fine, under pressure, gonna run. Got some room. Jordan Moore coming up to make the tackle. Speed on speed, and the one battle you're not gonna win is with the 110-meter champion from LSU.
And you look at the back end, what Mason Fine's looking at, maybe a small window to throw it deep, but really not a whole lot there. So the young man thought, all right, I'll just put it on the ground, see how much of this I can get back. But you're right, Jordan Moore equal to the task.
Third and goal from the 14. 2-down territory for the Mean Green. Fine, under pressure, gonna be sacked. Tawa Efa coming up with the play when they needed him most.
Almost 11 tackles per game. Josiah Tawa Efa. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Game of leapfrog. Now let me tell you something about Josiah Tawa Efa. He went to Corinth High School, and as a North Texas alum, I know exactly where Corinth, Texas is. It's in Lake Dallas. We knew that because Denton was a dry county, and if you were a student at North Texas, you had to drive to Lake Dallas. Is the only place you could buy beer. And that's where he's from, within 10 miles of the University of North Texas. They didn't recruit him. So coming into this game, he was fired up to play against North Texas because he was right in their backyard and they didn't recruit him. He makes a huge play with UTSA up 31-17.
How did I know you would know to find a beer in Dallas?
Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. North Texas with its last chance thanks to this play, a leapfrog.
A freshman doing all this, you can wonder why he's the leading freshman tackler in the entire nation. Just unbelievable. Every week we see more superlatives from Josiah Taua-Efa. 4th and 21. Fine, throwing, incomplete, no flag. UTSA football. This cannot say enough about the job the defense did on that particular series, including obviously Josiah Taua-Efa. Team leading 75 tackles coming into this ball game and 10.7 tackles per game, which is tied for 8th in the entire nation. I mean, this young man continues to play like his hair's on fire, and by golly, he's got a lot of that.
That was just an amazing play. That one should be on SportsCenter. Just a fantastic play by Taua-Efa to leapfrog Wilson, who had his blocking assignment down.
Yep, now leads the team in sacks. Already talked about his 5.5 tackles for loss. Just an unbelievable football player. Oh, he also has an interception this year as well.
Jarvion Williams right up the middle. James Gray on the tackle. That'll keep the clock moving. And we'll click close to 2 minutes before they run their next play. Solid effort by Dalton Sturm, and we can pick up Frank Wilson down the sidelines. Sturm glad to let this thing tick all the way down. 5 on the play clock. He'll keep. He'll slide down short of the first down, but that's not a bad thing, because if he would have gotten the first down,
North Texas.
The clock would have stopped. So North Texas would be forced to burn a timeout.
Yes. So they're down to 1. And they've got to do everything they can right here to get another stop, not allow the first down, and then force UTSA to punt this football away. But UTSA can get a couple yards right here and move the sticks. This football game will be over.
And coming up at the conclusion of the game, it's the Thomas J. Henry postgame show. We'll have postgame reactions from coaches and the stars of the game. It's the Thomas J. Henry postgame show right here after this one's over. And it looks like it is going to be a very much needed victory for the UTSA Roadrunners after losing a 5 overtime heartbreaker a week ago to UTEP. The Roadrunners have been very impressive defensively, causing turnovers, gaining momentum, and holding on for what appears to be a crucial Conference USA W. Here's Jarvion running right into the pile. He's trying to move it forward. Instead, he goes backwards, and North Texas is fired up. Nate Brooks wants a penalty as he was thrown down to the ground by Javante Damon.
And we talked the physicality of these two teams going in. And I'll tell you, there's been lots of stuff going on after these whistles have blown today.
North Texas.
About what you'd expect from two feisty ball clubs.
So North Texas has to burn another one with 1:44 to go. They'll get the football back as Frank Wilson runs out his punt team. So it's not in the books yet, as we saw the young quarterback score on the very first play of the second half on an 80-yard run. It'll take a miracle for the Mean Green here, but it's not over just yet.
So now if you're North Texas and your special teams, you know, what are you going to do? Play for the kick return or go after the punt? And if I was them, I'd go after the punt, because we've talked about it all year, how good UTSA's special teams have been at covering punts. Their best chance of making this a short field is to try to block this kick.
Turner Smiley is back. Yanni Rutsis is the punter. He gets it away. Smiley will bring it back from his 30, and he splits the first defenders. Look out! He's still on his feet, one man to beat, and what a tackle by Rutsis, the punter.
Right on cue, Chuck. They have been marvelous covering kicks all year long, and obviously they needed to get one there. They did not. Punt didn't have a lot of hang time on it as it wobbled downfield, but excellent return for North Texas. And tell you what, UTSA didn't do a very good job of flipping the field right there, that's for sure.
We are one Yanni Rutsis tackle away from making this an onside kick with a minute 30 to go. What a stop by the punter to save a touchdown. All right, so Fine has it. 1:30 to go, down 2 touchdowns. North Texas would have to score, get an onside kick, and score again as Tawa Effa shows blitz. He drops into coverage. Fine running for his life. He's sacked. North Texas is out of timeouts, so they've got to go quick. King Newton making the play.
Tell you what, we're looking for an MVP of this football game. King Newton might be right up there in the top of the conversation. He was the one that forced that huge fumble by the goal line, and that was another big play for a loss.
Why not? Fine, back to pass. Over the middle, Thompson. Did he catch it?
Wow.
The umpire was right on top of it. It is a first down. The clock will stop. Most importantly for the Mean Green.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a big league catch, but how about the throw? 3 guys around that football for UTSA.
UTSA brings pressure again. Fine. Throwing the out. It's caught. And Willie Robinson caught it, but I don't know if he went out of bounds on his own. It did. Clock stops. Well, it stopped only to move the chains. They'll go on the wind. So he didn't get out of bounds. We're running 41 and counting. Fine. Scrambling. Fine. Can't take a sack. Does. Laquel Bass has him. And North Texas can't stop it. 28 ticks left. Gotta go if you're the Mean Green. Too much time going away for North Texas here. They don't snap it until 12. Fine. Going to throw it. Going to come incomplete right at the 10-yard line. North Texas is down 2 scores and only has time for 1 play. So UTSA is now going to hang on for victory.
Cal Bass doing another good job of putting some pressure on that last play as well.
Should be the final play. Fine. Over the middle. Got a man incomplete. Good coverage there by Austin Jupy. And that's it. UTSA wins it over North Texas. Getting some revenge on last year's game. The only one that North Texas won a year ago. Came at the expense of the Roadrunners, and they get revenge today.
And this is the 4th meeting between these two, and UTSA has won 3 of the 4 now. But we talked about at the beginning that would there be a hangover after losing a 5 overtime game last week? I guess we got our answer, didn't we, Don?
Let's take a look at our players of the game. It brought to you by the law offices of Sean Brown. Chuck, you called it. King Newton making the fumble that Micah Guagu scooped up. That changed all the momentum in this game. And we're also going to single out Jalen Rose on the offensive side of the ball. Jalen with a big day as that UTSA offense was able to punch it in. Rhodes with 74 yards and 2 touchdowns today. All part of our Sean Brown players of the game.
And Jalen Rhodes really picking it up in the second half when UTSA had to answer after North Texas had cut the lead to 2-score game. He's going to finish his day with over 8 yards a touch.
That's right. You can call Sean Brown at the law offices at 224-8200 for a free consultation about your legal matter. Thanks again to the law office of Sean Brown for presenting our players of the game. Jalen Rhodes, King Newton, and that UTSA defense.
Coming on week in and week out, doing the job, keeping their team in this football game from start to finish.
Frank Wilson's got himself another W. Let's hear from him. Hector Ledesma with the coach.
Well, fellas, actually, we were set to talk to Coach Wilson. They started the singing of the alma mater, and Coach said, "I'll be back," and he ran off. So how about this? How about we take a break, and then we continue with the Thomas J. Henry postgame show? How about we do that? Maybe kick it up to you guys, take a break, and then come back and talk with Coach and also Jalen Rhodes. But now, let's send it back up to you guys.
Thanks, Hector. We coming back with the coach and Jalen Rhodes. UTSA a victor, 31-17.
And welcome back to the Thomas J. Henry postgame show. If you've been injured in a car trucking accident, call Thomas J. Henry, 656-1000, 24/7, 24 hours, nights and weekends. And joining us on the field is UTSA head coach Frank Wilson. Your squad getting a big win against North Texas today. And as many big plays as there were in this ball game, Coach, were there any bigger than that one at the end of the half that seemed to change momentum when they're driving at the goal line, down 14-0, you guys get the big stop, the turnover, and it stays 14-0 at the half?
I tell you what, you look at the job that defense did today, forcing 4 turnovers, allowing the offense to go down and convert on 2 of them, and a goal line stand that was spectacular to give us momentum going into halftime. It was a tremendous play by our defense.
Speaking of defense, a tremendous play. How about that one by Josiah here on that 3rd and long, leapfrogging the blocker? My goodness.
That was finding a way when there was no way. We had been blitzing him several times, and he was bull rushing the back, and then the guys start cutting him. And so he had enough instinct that when he went low to go high, he was able to hurdle over him, get a hand on the quarterback, and make a big sack for us.
Southern Miss, you came in after the 2 straight losses. You had a fantastic game. This one, you came in off the 5 overtime heartbreak last week. You find a way to get a win. What is it about this squad that seems to respond when times seem to get a little tough?
Talks about the character of these men, that when they're backed against the wall, they find a way. They're resilient, they're determined, and they have a never say die spirit. That was something big for us. We wanted to see how we would respond coming out of 5 overtime game. We responded today.
Coach Wilson, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Go Runners indeed. The UTSA Roadrunners, a 31-17 victory. As you see him right now, Jalen Rhodes, our player of the game, and Coach Frank Wilson embracing. Well, you had yourself a very efficient night, Jalen. 9 carries, 74 yards, and in those 9 carries, 2 touchdowns. Talk about your night and what a nice effort it was on your part tonight.
Well, I just had a lot of opportunities given to me by the O-line and my teammates, the receivers. Everybody was just blocking and doing their job, so it was real easy for me to produce what I did.
You and Jarvion have become quite the 1-2 punch. And we were talking earlier in the week about how instead of there being a rivalry as to who's going to get more playing time, who's going to get more snaps, you guys have totally embraced it. In fact, your relationship could not be better.
Yes, sir. It's like there's no rivalry or anything like that. The only thing that matters is the W. So if he scores or if I score, it doesn't matter. It's just appreciation and just keep pushing each other and let's keep going forward.
How much nicer is it to get this one considering the 5 overtime classic last week and to bounce back and get a win like this tonight?
That feels great. Anytime you get a W, it feels great.
And I got to just say this right before we go. I know you're originally a Texas Tech commit. We are glad. I know when the ACL injury happened your senior year, and we're going to talk about more of that on UTSA Insider right here on the CW35, Saturdays at 10:30. When it happened, that was not the greatest thing in the world for you, but it turned out, I would say, in a way that many Roadrunner fans are very happy with. You're here at UTSA, and Coach Kingsbury passing up on the chance to have Jalen Rhodes. We're happy to have you here in San Antonio.
Yes, sir. It's a blessing. I'm honored to be here. I'm happy to be here. Go Roadrunners.
Jalen Rhodes and the UTSA Roadrunners, a big 31-17 victory. There you go. As our Thomas J. Henry post-game show continues, if you've been injured in a car or striking accident, call Thomas J. Henry, 656-1000. We're back up to Don and Chuck in the booth as the Thomas J. Henry post-game show continues right after this.
Southern Miss beat Marshall or Marshall beat Southern Miss? Southern Miss beat Marshall.
So we have about, what, 4 segments left? 2, okay. Highlights and stats. Barrett, Dalton Stern, Josh Stewart, upended. Dalton Stern, Kerry Thomas Jr., 7-0. Second quarter, Dalton Stern, quarterback keeper. First play, Mason Fine had a big day. Two turnovers. Dahlquist pick. 24-7. Trevor Moore.
Okay, if we ever show a field goal on highlights after this game, we're going to have words. This ain't soccer. Just busting your chain. That's unbelievable.
That was big. Welcome back to the Thomas J. Henry post-game show. If you've been injured in a car or trucking accident, call Thomas J. Henry at 656-1000, 24/7, nights and weekends. Don Harrison, Chuck McIntyre with you back from the Alamo Dome, where UTSA a victor today over my alma mater, North Texas, 31-17. But fun, a fun game for both schools, and UTSA really held the momentum after what could have gone North Texas's way at the end of the first half, and then held on with a great second half.
I think the big key to this game, obviously, we talked about North Texas creating 7 turnovers in their game last week in their upset win over Army. UTSA did them the other way today. They created 4 turnovers of their own, and obviously when you can do that and win the takeaway battle 4-0, there aren't many football games you're going to lose, and obviously UTSA did not tonight.
And 2 of those turnovers were very important. As we take a look at our highlights, UTSA came out firing from the get-go. Dalton Sturm going to the 2 brothers. He went first to Josh Stewart, who made a nice pickup there, and hit Kerry Thomas Jr. to make it 7-0, as Kerry Thomas Jr. set a UTSA record with his 6th receiving touchdown of the season. In the second quarter, Dalton Sturm showed he can beat you with his feet as well.
You know, a very efficient day, 10 of 19. Biggest thing for him was he didn't turn the ball over, and he had 2 touchdowns.
UTSA would go up 14-0 when he goes back to Stewart in the back corner of the end zone in the second quarter. But North Texas had a chance to make this a very interesting game. They were down 14-7, and they scored right there. But when it was 14-7 here, Wilson has the ball come out. King Newton making the play. Mike Aguagu with the scoop. And that's what Hector was talking with Coach about, a big turn of momentum there.
Big defensive line play all night from UTSA. Marcus Davenport got thrown out of this game, but he had 8 tackles, was very disruptive as well.
North Texas came out and took just 20 seconds to score on the very first play of the third quarter. The true freshman, Mason Fine, going 80 to make it 14-7 right there. And North Texas then fell apart. Fine had that one slip out of his hands. That led to a Victor Falcone field goal. And then on the next possession, Chase Dahlquist comes up with Yaski picking off Mason Fine, and that would lead to a touchdown run by Jalen Rhodes. At this point, it was 24-7 all UTSA.
I mean, that's the biggest thing in this ballgame, Don. I mean, you're trying to quell momentum. You get 2 quick turnovers then and score 10 points, and that essentially helped UTSA start to steamroll in the second half.
The Mean Green cut it to a 2-touchdown lead with that field goal by Trevor Moore, but Rhodes would score again to make it 31-10, and that really is where UTSA pulled away.
Yeah, they got a little quick slant here to get a touchdown and get this game closer to make it another 2-score game as Byers gets the punch. But in the end, after these guys come up with an onside kick that was really well designed, UTSA is going to go back and look at the film and try to make that recovery before 10 yards. But then they turn Big Harry loose. Josiah Tauafa with the leap unbelievably over the would-be blocker, makes a play and picks up his 6.5 sack of the year.
So North Texas wins the yardage battle, 409 to 318, but those 4 turnovers absolutely the key, as UTSA scored 10 points off of those turnovers, and Josiah Tawa-Efa makes the huge play there down the stretch to seal it. And as I said, he's a youngster right in the backyard of North Texas, was not happy he was not recruited by them, and he comes up with the play of the game when UTSA needed it most. When we come back, we will wrap it up here. North Texas falling to UTSA today. The final score, 31-17. We'll wrap it up when we come back. Okay. I'm not giving the phone number nights and weekends. I already did that.
Baseball being long, the games.
Is it 10? Is it 10 o'clock?
No, it's 9:40 though.
No, I don't think we need to do it more than once, right? Contractually. I mean, I can say Thomas J. Henry all night long, but given the phone number about an ambulance chasing.
Oh, look at the try. I love this, dude.
Wow.
Make Gibbons and the boys look better.
It's going to be 3-1?
We gave them a better series. Yeah. Oh,
3-1.
I shouldn't say that. The Cubs could come back with their pitching. Poor Cub fans. You know, but it's still a win.
Yeah.
They're baby steps. And they're going to be back next year. They're the best team in the National League. Payne's really good.
Yeah, and there's nobody listening to
No,
them.
I know, but, well, this isn't a moment.
Yeah.
They're good. It's not what you'd expect. They're college kids. They should be good.
They're strong. Getting close.
I got Texans game at 6 in the morning, so.
Oh, Lord. You going right to Houston from here?
Yeah, let's go. 2.5 hours, maybe.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It shouldn't be bad on a Saturday night getting there.
Yeah, there's no reason to drive back to Austin.
Working for CBS. Working for CBS. Fox.
Oh, that's right.
Who
We
are
got
they
that
playing?
game tomorrow.
I think the Lions. I might be making that up, though. I really don't know. I don't know if it's 6 a.m.
We're back on the Thomas J. Henry postgame show from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. UTSA beats North Texas tonight 31-17. Don Harris and Chuck McIntyre with you again as we take a look at these Conference USA standings. North Texas came in to tonight's game a little bit ahead of UTSA, but UTSA, even after the 5 overtime loss, put themselves back in bowl position with the win today.
Not only that, put them back into the conversation in Conference USA as well. And we talked about the parity in this league and that any team can be beaten any week, no matter, top playing bottom, middle playing middle, or whoever. But, we can talk about the class on the other side of the division with Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. Well, even they had a fight against FIU today. But, La Tech is on UTSA's side of the bracket. They're going to see them in a couple of weeks. So UTSA obviously can control their own destiny with that game still on the schedule. The one team they've got to hope for some help for against is Southern Miss. They were able to eke out a 10-point win today against Marshall, so UTSA is going to need some help there. But, hey, they did what they needed to do today as we see UTEP falling to Old Dominion as well in the fourth quarter. There's still a lot to play for, and, again, given the parity that goes on in Conference USA, anything can happen. So, if UTSA continues to handle its own business, I promise you Southern Miss is going to feel the heat. And, again, if it comes to be a tiebreaker at the end, UTSA is going to have it over those guys if they can manage to get them another loss somewhere along the line.
Louisiana Tech still has North Texas to play, and as you look at the UTSA schedule, in 2 weeks, they've got UTSA. The Roadrunners will be hitting the road for the next 3, at Middle Tennessee, in Ruston against Louisiana Tech, and then at Texas A&M on the 19th, and then they'll finish it off here at home against Charlotte, the remaining schedule on their regular season. So, again, La Tech still has to play in North Texas, who's capable of beating them. and UTSA, who's capable of beating them. But I tell you what, Louisiana Tech looking pretty good today, hanging 61 on Rice.
Hey, but the way UTSA is playing defense right now, I mean, hey, North Texas came in here ballyhooed with a lot of offense as well, too. And UTSA, yeah, they gave up a lot of yards in the second half, but, you know, able to keep these guys and hold them down on the scoreboard.
So the Roadrunners eking their way up the Western Division standings. They, again, will play Louisiana Tech. They would win the head-to-head if they could give them their second loss. They already own the tiebreaker with Southern Miss if Southern Miss loses again. So the future looks bright for the Roadrunners as long as they keep winning. They got Middle Tennessee next.
And getting closer and closer to being bowl eligible.
That's exactly